Hello and welcome to the Abbey Stadium here for Leicester City's third pre-season game of the summer. Of course, Cambridge United, the hosts this evening. I'm Dan Bates, alongside me, Matt Elliott. Matt, it's an absolutely gorgeous evening. Probably not the kind of evening you want to play a game of football in now.
No, I'm feeling sorry for us. Never mind the players. It's absolutely sweltering, isn't it? But I suppose we can't complain. We've had the starts of a lovely summer period. We've been fortunate that it's coincided with the pre-season games. The players won't be quite so grateful, shall we say, but it's a good test for them. They're probably going to up their minutes this evening. The starting lineup, from all likelihood, what we hear is that they're going to be play on 60 minutes or so up in the ante a little bit, and it'll be interesting to see if the quality of the performance is on the up as well. Just
on the weather and on the heat, for a pre-season game, would you say it's almost perfect because it will take so much out of the players and really help their development during the pre-season of getting fitter ahead of the season?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, even when the season starts, it's still going to be pretty taxing in terms of heat-wise. You've got to prepare for that. So you've got to have that durability, and you've got to have the options within the squad as well. You've got to have the general fitness. There's so many things to consider in a pre-season campaign. But listen, Brendan Rodgers and his staff are well versed in pre-season and how to best go about it, and that's why they've got double fixtures at certain times, so the heavy player load that they have can all be occupied. But it is something to contend with these days. The amount of players that you've got within the squad, both in the immediate Premier League squad, but also in the development side of things.
So it's important that everyone gets minutes. We've talked about the difference that some players will be approaching each game. It could be so important in terms of trying to play for the manager, and then for others it's about getting fit during the pre-season. Yeah,
it's a combination of things that players need to be concerned about. But really, first and foremost, what most people, i.e. the supporters, are bothered about is what Brendan Rodgers' first team is going to be. They're looking towards that kick-off against Wolves at the King Power. But different players have different agendas. Some are coming back from fitness, as you say, whether it be injury or a bit of time off. Some are trying to get themselves to a level that they can maybe have an influence on the manager's mind, and some, dare I say it, maybe getting themselves into a position and promoting themselves for possibly a move away. Because of the deluge of players that Leicester City have, you would think it's inevitable that some are going to be departing the building, as well as some progressing their status within the club. But primarily, it's about getting that starting team stroke match day squad ready and prepared for the big kickoff.
What were these fans that are just in front of us there, these Leicester fans travelled down to Cambridge, what are they hoping to see, do you think, this evening? Because we've seen narrow wins, haven't we, in the first two pre-season games. It's not necessarily about winning, is it, for the players and the management? It's about the development and getting fit. But these fans want to see a win and they want to see goals, don't they?
Of course, yeah. I mean, that's the icing on the cake, isn't it? But even the scoreline, it's not imperative. But you want to breed positivity, of course you do. But it's more about fitting into and developing an understanding of how Brendan Rodgers wants his team to go and play. Individuals fitting into that system, that structure, and I think they've done that exceptionally well. Certain players, and we'll perhaps have a look at it in a little while, Mark Albright and springs to mind, have adapted their role, and had to be sort of flexible in how they play their football. And it's interesting to see. It's a test of a player because you're brought up playing, let's say, one way the large majority of your career, and then you have to tweak it a bit and be flexible, as I say. And it's always sometimes easier said than done. But they're adopting Brendan Rodgers' techniques and tactics exceedingly well in a short period of time, really. And as much as anything, more than most pre-seasons, I would say, which is about the fitness, getting minutes under your belt, and the feeling of positivity and team spirit, all those things, but even more so with this group of players, getting an understanding of what their manager wants from them.
Well, as we've said, this is Leicester City's third pre-season game of the summer. Their second one on Saturday was at Cheltenham. Let's take a look back at the highlights and the best bits from that game.
Daly Campbell going back to the experienced Wes Morgan. Daniel Amati looking for Iheanacho. Just about run through, or maybe not. Free kick given. That's a tough call. The goalkeeper, I don't think, had managed to get his hands on the ball.
I think the referee's been very kind to the Scott Flinders there. Very kind. It's almost like he thought that there was no one going to be challenging him, and just picked the ball up off the floor. He was lucky there, I think. That's probably where Matty Elliott is right now.
It's on the other side. We'll find it at full time. Plenty forward here. Varney, header is in. And Cheltenham take the lead totally against the run of play. Their first efforts on goal coming from the experienced Luke Varney. A cross that just hung in the air to the far post. And the 36-year-old Leicester-born striker rising the highest and beating Danny Ward. And Cheltenham 1-0 up here at the Johnny Rock Stadium. Tillemans charging the ball down. Oh, and Vardy could be in, and Vardy is in. And Leicester find themselves with an equaliser. Owes credit to Tillemans, who wouldn't give up the fight. The ball kept coming back the way of the Belgium. And then with a ricochet, it fell to Jamie Vardy. A clinical finish that makes it 1-1.
Yeah, you have to say Tillemans did great there, didn't he? He won the ball back, showed that nice touch that he invariably has. That's the moment there that you'd expect the Cheltenham 15 to win that challenge. You know, that's a tackle he has to win. But Tillemans showed, you know, a bit more endeavour, as it were, and kept the ball. And then once it landed at Vardy, you knew where it was going. Well, once again, it was Tillemans and Vardy linking up well.
Mendy. This time it's Albrighton who's the target, goes around Flinders, and Leicester are in front. Albrighton celebrates in front of the Blue Army, all of them on their feet. A Jamie Vardy style finish, if you like, rounding the goalkeeper, and with two Cheltenham players heading back to the line, he was still able to get the ball beyond them both and into the back of the net. Leicester go from 1 down to 2-1 up.
Yeah, don't quite see Albrighton's run, but it was clever the way he ghosted in there, got there before the keeper, showed a lot of composure. You know, his first touch goes round the goalkeeper. Now he's still got a bit of work to do. If that's on the floor, it gets blocked by the defender, and he, you know, does well to keep that under the bar. Really, it was a great finish.
Yeah, and that's how it finished, Matt. 2-1. Leicester had to do something that they haven't done yet this pre-season. That's come from behind, but they did that, and they did that well, and they won the game. But more importantly, again, it was a good run out.
Yeah, very much so. Two different teams for each 45 minutes. And again, you saw the difference between those two 11s. And as was the case at Scunthorpe, really. In the first half, they were dominant, created a hatful of chances. Well, they were particularly impressive that night. On Saturday against Cheltenham, the stronger of the two teams, certainly on paper, came on in the second half this occasion, and they took control of the game. Admittedly, against a flagging Cheltenham. Cheltenham kept the same players for pretty much the duration of the game, certainly as long as they could. And you saw the signs of fatigue kicking in. But Leicester bossed the game, didn't they, really? I think in that second 45, which you thought was always going to be the case. And pretty impressive so far. Not spectacular. It doesn't need to be in pre-season. And they're probably up the ante, or look to, tonight. But certain players have really stood out for me in particular.
Well, we've picked out a few moments, Matt, in particular that you like looking at on Saturday, and that was the high-intensity, high-pressing that Leicester City showed in that pre-season friendly. Yeah,
they did it fleetingly in the first half, but more so in the second. But here's an instance early on. And again, pressure on the goalkeeper and a mistake made, and it looks a bit scruffy and it looks scrappy, and ultimately
there's 8 players there, isn't
yeah,
there?
well, it was defensive errors, but Leicester have forced the errors. There was a time not so long ago, Leicester City dropping off, conceding possession to in and around the halfway line, and now all of a sudden they're pushing players forward. In each clip here, you've seen contact made, interception, stroke tackle, regain possession with 4, 5, even 6 players in advanced areas, and you see the consequences.
It's something that you come to accustom with a Brendan Rodgers side, isn't it? High pressing, particularly when the opposition have the ball in their own area, in their own sort of third of the field. His teams like to press forward and win it back like we saw for the Jamie Vardy goal.
There's a time and a place, and I think it's that recognition which is all important, really. I mean, for instance, goal kicks, quite straightforward and basic. Goal kicks for the opposition. Leicester consciously going to close, not allowing teams to play out. Midfield's pushing up high, forcing kicks. Challenge for the header, pick up the pieces and play. That's sort of basic aspect of it. But generally, there's trigger points for the players to recognise when we go and press as a team.
Is that something that's worked on then on the training?
100%. Yeah, 100%. And especially under Brendan Rodgers, he's mentioned himself the amount of work that's been done in a game situation on the training ground. Johnny Evans mentioned it. And, practice makes perfect. Repetition, just becomes second nature. But also you've got an understanding of when you might have to drop off. Managing the game, who the opposition are, understanding all this side of football as well. Because, against Manchester City, if we all go and press, even if we do it properly at the wrong time, they'll still carve you open. So, you have to hedge your bets a little bit. But generally, it's a nice, positive way of playing football. They're on the front foot, they're pushing forward, they're hoping to win the ball early. If not, they're relying on their back four, their defensive players, central midfielder, defensive player, to do their jobs and break up play. And then Leicester could go, OK, we're not winning it in their third, we'll win it in the middle third and we'll play from there.
Well, we've mentioned his name a couple of times. Let's hear from the man himself then, Brendan Rodgers, speaking after the win at Cheltenham on Saturday.
Like you say, we get 3 weeks done now and we got a number of weeks to go before the first game, but yeah, they're building up that football fitness and that getting their geography back on the pitch again, which sometimes, no matter how fit you are, you come into the games, you're covering bigger spaces, and that always takes a wee bit of time, but they'll now start to build up the minutes, towards 60 minutes, and then obviously get 90 minutes next weekend.
Callum Elder was impressive in that first half, went off with a knock. How is he?
Yeah, he should be okay. He took a blow to the ankle and I think a little bit swollen, so but he'll be okay.
And a great thing to take from today, your number 9, tucking them away like that.
Always. Now you can bank on him. He's got wonderful energy, great appetite to score, and like I say, he's always there when you need someone to finish. So no, I thought the second half was good in terms of the tempo and the speed of the game was much better and quicker, and like I say, Tuesday night we get a few of the under-21 boys back, so that'll be nice to see them getting a run out as well. And like I say, we're just building towards the beginning of the season.
Well, early on in that clip, Matt, Brendan was talking about the geography on the pitch and the different types of fitness that you get from playing on the training pitch, an 11v11 game, to actually playing a game of football against Cheltenham. And what does that really mean then, the geography on the pitch? Is it knowing your positions? Why is it so different to be on the training pitch?
Yeah, I think he's referring to that, and also getting your bearings as well, because like I said before, some players have been asked to adjust their game a touch and play slightly different positions, different roles in different areas on the pitch as well. Mark Albright, for instance, I mentioned him at the beginning of the programme. Rather than just being an out-and-out wide player, whether it be left or right, he's been asked to cut in, he's coming into central areas, he's got to have peripheral vision, whereas ordinarily he's just used to having the whole pitch inside him, and now he's got space behind, etc. So there's that aspect of things. There's games on the training pitch, there's games in pre-season, and it's up another level, at least, maybe 2 games in a Premier League situation. So, you have to just adjust to the pace of it, the fluency of your game, your touch. Even when you've only had 4 or 6 weeks off, you just lose that little edge. I think you saw it in the first half, a bit of rustiness with some of the aerial timing of a few of the players, Ian Nacho in particular, Wes Morgan even. You just get that little rhythm back. So there's loads of things that you need to just keep doing, just keep persevering with, and your rhythm and your game will come back together.
Well, those eagle-eyed viewers that were watching those highlights might do well for this next bit, because there's a competition running currently on Leicester City's Twitter account, just at LCFC on there. It's a competition to win 2 tickets for the Atalanta friendly next week, a week on Friday. All you need to do is go on there and reply to the tweet with the answer of who got the winner against Cheltenham on Saturday. But that game, just incidentally, before we take a look at this evening, it's one you're looking forward to, isn't it, the Atalanta game?
Oh, without a doubt, yeah. And surprisingly, high up in Serie A. They've qualified for the Champions League. Yeah, third in the league. Well, no mean feat. Beat both Inter and AC Milan in Serie A in the final league standing. So no fools, are they? That'll be a supreme test for Leicester City, and I think maybe some people are not quite aware of quite how good a side Atalanta are, and it's well worth a visit.
So very much a different type of test that we'll see this evening, and we have seen so far in pre-season, because these Cambridge United players have had a few more friendlies under their belt than Leicester, so they'll be talking about, again, the geography in the pitch and football fitness. They'll be more ready for this, would you say?
You would say so, but we've said that in previous pre-season games already, this campaign. That was the case at Scunthorpe. We thought that might be a difficult game because they'd had a couple of extra games and they're at home, they're playing higher level opposition, and they're rolling their sleeves up and getting torn into Leicester, but that wasn't the case. Leicester, certainly with the stronger 11 of the two, dominated proceedings. That was the case on Saturday too, and I don't suppose it's going to be too much different. Although, listen, these games, I'll come unstuck myself. I've got vague and distant memories of playing here in pre-season, and I know that we got turned over, so if it happened to us, it can happen to these boys. But they're looking good at the moment. They are looking good. It's a shame Jose Perez isn't here. Got a little knock by all accounts, but he looked a class act against Scunthorpe, and he is, I don't know, Tillemans coming has been running the show a bit. Perez, he could just be the cherry on top of the icing on top of the cake.
Well, another one of those players is, of course, Mark Albrighton, who played in the game against Cheltenham on Saturday.
Penetrating through the lines and making those forward runs in between the gaps, and that goal pitify everything that he wants of us. So if we can continue to do that and add that to our game, then we won't go far wrong.
And how are you feeling with pre-season and all the training that's gone on?
Yeah, very good. These games are always tough exercise. You're coming up against opposition that you don't normally come up against. They were in a low block of 5 today, so it was a good test for us to see how we coped against that formation. And I think second half especially, we knocked the ball around a lot faster, and that's how we got through in the end. And obviously the pitch was quite slow today, so when they are playing a low block, it's always difficult to pass the ball fast on such a slow pitch, and we did that at times in the second half, and they're the times that we got through. So we need to do more of that and keep being aggressive and attacking.
We heard Mark Albrighton there talking about playing against a team that uses a low block and that sit back, and in particular that's where you need your wide players like Mark Albrighton to cut inside, and that's another thing that we picked out from Saturday, Matt, or that you picked out about his goal there.
Yeah, I've mentioned a couple of times already about the change of tact for some players, and here we see it's an obvious example. Mendy does well, breaks up, joins in the play in midfield. But Mark Albrighton, that's almost a run that people would expect Jamie Vardy to be making. Jamie Vardy's making a different run by dragging one of the 3 centre halves of Cheltenham across. In fact, 2 of them out of position. Mark Albrighton spotted it, but he hasn't spotted it too late. It's been perpetual motion, and it's happened naturally, and he's in an area where he can affect the game and ultimately get himself a goal, which proved to be the winner. He's taken it exceptionally well, but his natural role would have been hanging out wide, and Jamie Vardy would make those runs on his own, less effective. 3 centre-halves can deal with even Jamie Vardy. But it's nice to see how Jose Perez has been doing it, getting nice and narrow up alongside. It literally is a 4-3-3. You've got 3 players who are potentially looking to score goals throughout the game. The fullbacks can provide the width more often than not, but there's flexibility within the whole team. There's triangles all over the pitch.
Well, 2 of the 3 goals scored in pre-season have come from wide players, of course. Perez getting the only goal of the game at Scunthorpe.
Yeah, but in a central area. Yeah.
So
Mark
it's important that they're in central areas, though.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you've got naturally advanced, you've got that front 3, and then you've got Tillemans going in the box, other stroke James Maddison getting in the box, perhaps an opposite fullback every now and then. It's a totally different way of playing that Leicester have been accustomed to over the last couple of seasons.
Very quickly, before we do go to an ad break before the actual match, how do you expect it going?
A little bit of an unknown quantity, aren't they, Cambridge? Do you expect them to be a big, strong, physical side? They were warming up right next to us, and there's some big boys there, that's for sure. So they'll be physically competitive, but Leicester have got a strong 11 out there. Nice to see a couple of boys back from the 21s, Demari Gray, Ben Chilwell straight into the fray, and they'll have to get up to speed pretty quickly and be on their game if they're going to make an impression on Brendan Rodgers' mind. So Leicester in there with Tielemans running things, ticking things over. I fancy them to go well.
Don't forget, if you fancy getting or winning 2 free tickets for the game against Atalanta next week, all you need to do is head to Leicester City's Twitter page and answer the competition question on there. Who got the winner against Cheltenham on Saturday? But it is now time for kick-off, pretty much. It's around about 5 minutes away, so it's about time we hand you over to the commentators, Chris Parrott and Jerry Taggart, just after this little break.
We are an instinct that ignites action. We are a journey, taking one step more. And we are the heart that beats as one. We are proud to be more. De Montfort University, Leicester.
Match 3 of Leicester's pre-season is here. Welcome to the Abbey Stadium on a baking hot evening. Now, this match was due to kick off at 7:30 local time, but we have had a delay, a 15-minute delay, right at the last minute. As you can see, the Leicester players, the starting 11, have come out just to go through their, I was going to say final preparations, their second final preparations. The sprinklers are on, and having seen off Scunthorpe and Cheltenham already, it's League 2 opposition again tonight in the form of Cambridge United. It really is a hot, sticky evening, and plenty of other Premier League sides are in Asia and America. They could have stayed at home. It is boiling hot. Tamari Gray, one of the Leicester City players, given his first outing, having been away with the England's under-21 European squads. He has a chance to impress Brendan Rodgers this evening. Jerry Taggart alongside myself. I guess in pre-season anything can happen, including a 15-minute delay. From the players' point of view, probably quite annoying, but they just have to go through their preparations again, I guess.
Yeah, good evening, Chris. Yeah, it just means there's a bit more pressure on yourself and myself to try and fill a bit of air time, but I'm sure we'll cope admirably. But yeah, tonight's game, as you said, seen a couple of under-21 players coming back straight into the team, which is good. And Brendan Rodgers will obviously be looking to try and ramp things up this evening. The run in just a couple of weeks away.
Andy King, one of the Leicester stalwarts, is playing. You can see that massive smile from Kasper Schmeichel. It's great to see him back. 3 players making their first appearances of pre-season today. Schmeichel, Chilwell and Gray, who we saw. Great to have those back. And if you look at the Leicester team, is it pretty much what you might consider as the first choice back 5, because Harry Maguire, Johnny Evans at the heart of defence ahead of Kasper Schmeichel?
Yeah, I think when you get to this stage of pre-season, it's crucial for the manager in particular to try and begin to mould his starting 11 for that team that's going to take to the pitch against Wolves in the first game. So yes, you'll see between now, Saturday and obviously the game against Atalanta, the team just beginning to mould itself, mould into shape to that starting 11. I'm pretty much sure that come the game against Atalanta, you'll pretty much be seeing the starting 11 which Brendan Rodgers will have in his head to go out against Wolves. So this game tonight, really important. Obviously, he wants the game to be played in the right way, Brendan, the right tempo, but also vitally important is that everybody comes off the pitch with a clean bill of health, because he doesn't want any niggly injuries or any injuries that will keep the players out for any length of time will lead up to the start of the season so close by.
Jose Perez isn't here. You mentioned someone who has picked up a slight knock with that sprained ankle. Got up and running in his Leicester career with that goal at Glanford Park against Scunthorpe. So, well, interesting. The Leicester players have come out for this 15-minute delay. If you were tuning in thinking this was going to be kick-off, that's why we have a delay of 15 minutes. The Cambridge players having a cup of tea in the dressing room. We actually saw them during the warm-up. Yeah. Half of the team was sat down.
Yeah, I think they were just basically conserving energy. Obviously, it's a really hot, sticky evening here down at Cambridge, down at the Abbey Stadium. And also, I think, obviously with the facilities, let's say, probably not being up the Premier League standard, and the players probably better off just getting out in the pitch and having a little touch, a little feel of the ball, instead of being cooped up, sat on top of each other in what I would expect is a pretty tight dressing room. So probably the right advice to come out and get a touch of the ball.
Yeah, I don't think it's changed much since you played here in the early 90s, or Matt Elliott. It's a proper old school stadium, very close to the city centre, and you can see not much has changed here over the last 50 or 60 years, apart from the stand where the Leicester fans are, just going out of your shot now on the right-hand side of your picture.
I have to say, though, Chris, give credit where credit's due. The pitch looks fantastic, and I always remember going back to the John Beck days, when he used to leave the grass long in the corners, because they used to bang the ball into the channel, and they let the grass roll a little bit longer in the channel because they wanted the ball to hold up. So there was a lot of games that John Beck played against the opposition back in the 90s.
Tricks of the trade there from Jerry Taggart. More from us in a moment, but now we're going to head back pitch side to Dan and to Matt.
Thank you very much, Chris. Thank you very much, Jerry. Well, we're back again. We thought we'd be here at half-time, but kick-off has been delayed by 15 minutes, Matt, so that we've seen the Leicester players out here. still doing their warm-ups, they're in their kit, they're not in the dressing room. We assume the Cambridge team are. What would you do in that position? Jerry was saying they wouldn't want to be cooped up in the dressing room, and do want to be out kicking the ball around?
Well, it's not ideal either way, is it? You get all your preparation off to a tee, and then you're ready for kick-off and raring to go. You don't want to be stuck in the changing rooms, that's for sure. I'm surprised at that, even if they got the blowers and the fans out, or etc. But just caught me wiping a bit of that ketchup and mustard off on that burger there. Don't caught us off guard as well. But no, I mean, it's far from ideal. I'd rather be doing what Leicester are doing out there, just ticking over, knocking a few balls around, getting a feel for the ball for the game coming up. But it's an unusual scenario, especially in pre-season, but encouraging. You know, Leicester are a big draw these days. People want to come and see them, and Cambridge don't want their supporters, and Leicester supporters probably, you know, to miss a minute of the play.
Is it something that ever happened to you as a player? Do you remember? God, such a long time ago now, isn't it?
Fading rapidly. I'm remembering less and less, but yeah, I remember delays in kickoffs for various reasons. Sometimes opposition teams turning up late, sometimes it was us turning up late, get stuck in traffic, etc. Something like this might happen. I don't think it would happen in a Premier League game, would it? You know, they're normally off to a tee, aren't they? But in this instance, nice evening. No one's too concerned about the late kickoff. You know, quite enjoying themselves by the look of it. Massive contingent of Leicester City supporters, by the way, all across the bottom end. Great to see. I know Cambridge is not a million miles away, but it's midweek. You know, shows the passion they've got for the club.
I'm just looking out over the Leicester City players, a few of them kicking a ball around, a few of them just taking some fluids on board. I thought maybe would the defenders go together, but it doesn't seem to be that way. It's just, no. I guess it's a case of individual wants really at this stage, what someone might feel is best for them.
They've done their preparation, their group work, haven't they? I know what you're saying, sometimes midfielders pop a few balls around. The strikers and wide players will get themselves a few shots at goal, test Michael out. Centre halves will work as a group and head the balls and wrap round each other and cover rounds, and you know, just to get into a rhythm. But they've done that. You know, keep doing it. They do it probably 3, 4, 5 times a week anyway. They know what they're doing by now. And they're just starting to twiddle their thumbs a little bit, which is a test, though. It is a test for their mentality, because you know, you can be all set up, pumped up, ready to rock and roll, and then all of a sudden a bit of deflation, and it can take some energy out of the game. And it's important that Leicester might come across scenarios like this. You know, practice makes perfect, but perhaps dressing it up a little bit. But the game's been delayed. It's taken sort of impetus out of their preparation. Can they pick it up again and have some energy when the game kicks off?
Would you, as a player, do you think, would you rather be out here, and would you still be doing a few sprints now? Would you be kicking a ball around, sit down, or would you still be in the dressing room back there?
No, I'd like to get out. There's a bit of a breeze here, which is an absolute blessing for the players and supporters alike. But I'd be making the most of that, really. Yeah, I think I'll be all sprinted out by now and just be moaning at the refs, saying, "Come on, mate, let's get on with it. It's their fault they're late. Supporters, let's get on with the game."
Well, let's talk about the rest of Leicester City's pre-season then. Of course, Saturday, Stoke and Rotherham, simultaneous games taking place against similar-ish opposition. Obviously, yeah. Stoke in the Premier League not so long ago. So, how do you see those?
Well, Stoke's probably seen as the bigger test of the two. They've got some higher-profile names certainly at the club. Had a tough time of late, as we know, but I suppose they're a little bit of perhaps a warning, maybe. You know, if Leicester need that, probably don't, but Stoke were considered, you know, relatively established Premier League outfit, not with the prospects and the sort of panache that Leicester City have at the moment. But you know, they were a tough team to beat. They were considered out of the relegation reckoning, weren't they, really? And it came back to bite them, really. Tony Pulis left. They looked to take them up to that famous next level, or infamous next level. Didn't work out for them, and look where they are now. So lessons going to have to be not necessarily learned from that, but warnings can be taken from that, can't they? And you know, look at them, they're in comparative dire straits to what they were 18 months, 2 years ago, aren't they? And you know, things can fall away quickly, so you just have to be wary of that. You have to have a structure and a plan in place, and Leicester certainly have that.
The type of game as well that the Stoke players will want to win, isn't it, to prove that they're still at that level of quality?
Yeah, the majority of those players individually will consider themselves capable of playing probably Premier League, albeit lower end. but the situation and the predicament they're in suggests otherwise. Collectively, they're not up to the task for whatever reason. Probably external issues within the club, from the management side as well. There's been a bit of turmoil, but yeah, they'll be up for it the weekend. You would assume it will be Leicester's toughest test yet.
A reminder, you can watch that game against Stoke live and for free on LCFC TV. There'll be in-vision updates from the game at Rotherham, and then of course the Atalanta game is the showpiece friendly, as we've already talked about, at King Power Stadium. Another tough test, as we've already spoken about, Champions League opposition.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Serie A,
they will be
third place in that division. They're no mugs, are they? It'll be interesting to see another type of game. Hopefully it'll be type of football that Leicester City are going to become accustomed to in the future, continental football, because, you know, I think without shouting about it, that's part of their aim, you know, to elevate the club into that sort of bracket where it's not, European football is not necessarily a common occurrence, but something that happens semi-regularly, you know, and the opportunity is there. And I think, you know, all the things are in place, the structure is in place, the manager is in place, the players are ready to go, they're ready. The majority of them, for the best part of their career, is ahead of them. And who better than Brendan Rodgers to guide them there? And, you know, hopefully that will prove to be the case. But in the meantime, a lot of hard work has to be done, because things don't just happen in this industry. You have to make them occur.
When you look at the two squads that the Leicester have from last season going into this one, of course, a few new names. Yuri Tielemans, obviously, the Leicester players and team know a lot about him. Brendan Rodgers knows a lot about him. But then, of course, there's James Justin that's come in, Jose Perez as well. It looks as if the players are due to come back out onto the pitch. So we'll talk about that at half-time and very quickly about the new signings. I guess we'll hand you back over to your commentary team now of Chris Parrott and Jerry Taggart.
So after a slight delay, Game 3 of Leicester's pre-season is finally here. Welcome to the Abbey Stadium. The Foxes take another step towards that Premier League opener against Wolves in just 19 days' time. Scunthorpe and Cheltenham beaten. It's a third and final game against League 2 opposition tonight in the form of Cambridge United. A baking hot day. It's turned into a very humid and sticky evening. This will be a workout, all right. Brendan Rodgers has spoken about the squad growing and developing a winning mentality. He will hope the Foxes can make it 3 wins out of 3 here in Cambridgeshire. Yuri Tielemans and Jamie Vardy, a further chance for that blossoming relationship to develop further. It's a very strong Leicester City 11 tonight. Jerry Taggart alongside myself. What are you hoping for as pre-season takes that further step towards the Premier League opener?
No, I think you know, if I was sitting in the manager's dugout there and I was Brendan Rodgers, what I'm looking for tonight is just the slickness of the play, the forward play, and also the coherence between the players when they lose the ball. Obviously, Brendan, the two parts of the game that he talks about more than any other are what they do when they have it and what they do when they haven't got it. So it's about that slick link-up play. You talk about Tielemans, the Tielemans-Vardy effect, Albrighton making those runs inside, Demarai Gray, similar to that there. So it's all about that, how to get the ball from the keeper to the full-backs and playing through the third. So very, very important game this evening.
Well, let's have a look at the two teams. Cambridge United beat Hearts at Tynecastle on Saturday, a good result. They name a strong side tonight. Again, Liam O'Neill got one of the goals in Edinburgh. They're captained by a former Leicester City Academy graduate, that is George Taft. Kyle Noyle, the only one of their 6 summer signings in the starting 11, but on the bench you can see number 10, Wes Hoolahan, the former Norwich and West Brom and Ireland star. That looks like a good piece of business by Colin Calderwood. A key trio return for Leicester City. Kasper Schmeichel, Ben Chilwell and Demarai Gray play for the first time in pre-season. Schmeichel and Chilwell have had a slight knock. Gray was given extra time off after the Under-21 Championship. Harry Maguire plays alongside Johnny Evans at the back further forward. Yuri Tielemans will hope to tee up Albrighton, Vardy and or Gray and continue his excellent start to life as a full-time Leicester player as opposed to being online. referee this evening. He's going to have to do plenty of exercise. Neil Hare. No VAR in operation. That will come in soon, though, in the Premier League. Don't worry about it. You can see the bright sunshine on the officials' faces. One of those evenings that it might be hard to be a goalkeeper, actually, or a centre-back, Jerry. These are lovely conditions to watch. They're not necessarily the best to defend in, are they?
Well, absolutely. You're absolutely spot on. I was never at my best, shall we say, when it was baking hot. But definitely, you know, hopefully the sun will soon go behind one of the stands, because it is quite easy to lose the flight of the ball when the sun's obviously straight in your eye line. So hopefully, you know, you can just see the shadows just slowly creeping across the pitch.
Kasper Schmeichel and his opposite number, George Taft. It's great to see Kasper back. Shakes the hands of the officials. And that Premier League opener after tonight on Saturday. 2 matches for Leicester on the same day at the same time. The stronger team will be at Stoke, and a match at Rotherham. Then Atalanta at home, and then the big kick-off. But here at the Abbey, we are ready for action. Played 3-1-3 so far this pre-season. Can the Foxes make it 4 in a row? "15-minute delay. Now we are ready for action. Final checks. 7:45 was the corrected kick-off time. And we're underway. Jamie Vardy gets Leicester up and running in this pre-season friendly. And Johnny Evans gets his first touch. We talked about that back 5 tonight being very strong for Leicester City. Maybe, possibly, who knows, the back 5 that might play against Wolves in the Premier League. In less than 3 weeks' time, it comes around quick, doesn't it? Sort of balmy summer evening that you have to pinch yourself and say, did they exist in the depths of winter? As Maguire feeds the ball to Ben Chilwell. Great to see him back after slight knock. Part of the England side that went to the Nations League. First touch for Dimi Mitov. Long clearance as well, taken down by Jabo Iberi, who's played a lot of football in the Football League and scored quite a lot of goals as well. Good pressing by Andy King, and Brendan Rodgers will like that.
Yeah, straight away, you know, we're just seeing that high press, and that's obviously something that Brendan Rodgers has brought in and trying to instill in his players. So there was a very good example of, you know, putting the Cambridge backline under pressure straight away in the game and regaining possession of the ball.
It looks like it's 4-1 again to me, but here is Johnny Evans. Saw Brendan Rodgers calling him the steal of the century for the price that Leicester paid to West Brom. Now Mark Albrighton with a first chance to cause some damage. Tamari Gray goes for goal, and just for a second there, Dimi Mitov, we were right behind it, looked like he might have overjudged it.
I don't think Damari Gray realised how much time he had there to get that shot off, because as he's collected the ball on the edge of the box, he's had a little look up, and it's just hesitated, not enabled the keeper to set himself and get his full weight behind that ball. But definitely, you know, that's good signs for Leicester early on.
Albrighton again scampering around, scored one of the goals against Cheltenham on Saturday. First piece of defending to do maybe, though. And Damari Gray does it well, and now a chance for Ricardo maybe to burst forward. Taft with the towering header. He'll enjoy playing against Jamie Vardy this evening. And Kasper Schmeichel had to be alert there, because Luke Hannon certainly was. Good goalkeeping.
Yeah. One thing with these Cambridge players, they'll probably be slightly in front of Leicester as regards to match fitness. Not necessarily overall fitness, but definitely match fitness. They obviously have more game time. The season starts a bit earlier for them. And so in these early the early stages of the game. They've just got to be switched on in those vital areas.
Cambridge's 5th of 6 games before their League 2 campaign gets underway. They host Ipswich here on Saturday in their final match. Of course, Leicester's 3rd of 6 as Albrighton feeds it to Chilwell. Dangerous ball by Chilwell looking for Vardy. Corner kick, first of the contest.
Yeah, and that's where Chilwell's so dangerous. And he goes in that overlap. And again, that's something Brendan Rodgers be looking to exploit. Getting Chilwell, getting Ricardo on those wings, flying round the back of the wide players and getting good balls into the box.
Yuri Tielemans over the set piece. Terrific assist on Saturday, looking to turn provider again. I think it's fair to say not his best corner, but he has a throw in anyway. Leaves it for Ben Chilwell. Cambridge United ball on that occasion. It's a tight but atmospheric stadium, this, and they really get behind their side. They really do. Golden period in the late 80s, early 90s. He's played Leicester in a second-tier playoff semi-final. We were talking off air, Jerry, about the amount of players who have played for Cambridge and then gone on to Leicester. Dion Dublin, Trevor Benjamin, Michael Morrison,
Steve Claridge famously as well, of course. Yeah, they were a decent outfit in the 90s. I was at Barnsley when I played against them, and they had a really decent outfit, and they got to the playoff semi-finals. In fact, in the mid-90s, where I think Leicester beat them.
Yep.
So
1-1 here and 5-0 at Filbert Street. Couple of runs to the FA Cup quarter-finals as well.
But the manager, back we were talking about, he let the corners of the pitch grow. He used to turn, if it was in the summer, he turned the heaters on and the pipes on in the dressing rooms to full blast. There would be no hot waters in the showers either after the game. So there was all kinds of fun and games when you came to the Abbey Stadium back in the 90s.
I sort of hope that thing still happens now, even though it's annoying for the players.
No, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on which side of the fence you sit on.
Maguire and Evans, so effortless. It looks effortless anyway when they have the ball.
Although famously, Leicester have a big block in the away team dressing room, which stops the manager at half-time talking to his players directly, because there's a big block in the middle of the dressing room and you have to keep walking around it. So that's a little bit of psychology.
Here's Albrighton, just over hits the cross. All the secrets from Jerry Taggart.
Just off the mark slightly, aren't they, at the minute, Leicester? Again, good time for a bit of time and space for Mark Albrighton to deliver that cross, and he's normally so accurate with them crosses, but that's basically just a little bit of rustiness. He'll just be honing those touches as time goes on.
He was earning his touch there, and he's won Leicester a throw-in on this near side. It's a very hot night, but I guess fitness-wise,
perfect.
This is perfect.
Yeah, absolutely perfect. And they've got to start stepping it up now. Forget about the opposition. Forget about it being League 2. It's all about Leicester and how they go about their business, and that's what Brendan will be looking for.
Here is Damari Gray, one of those who went to Italy with the England under-21s. James Maddison, one of those on the bench as Yuri Tielemans tries a first of those pinpoint passes. Not quite, but it won't be the last.
Yeah, again, Tielemans always looking to play a positive pass. You can talk about it. Andy King's obviously wanted that a little bit more inside the fullback instead of on the outside. He's made that run inside. But Yuri, as soon as he gets the ball, he's looking up and he's looking to make that forward pass.
Brendan Rodgers has his notepad out. He might need a pair of sunglasses and a hat. The sun on that side is, let's just say I'm glad we're on this near side. Cambridge with a couple of neat passes until Johnny Evans steps in. Now Mendy, who provided that terrific assist for Mark Albrighton on Saturday at Cheltenham. Yuri Tielemans set up the other for Jamie Vardy. Ricardo back into Mendy. Fantastic raking pass to Chilwell. Now Tielemans. Leicester maybe just getting into their stride. Decent piece of defending by Liam O'Neill. Cambridge certainly playing on the counter-attack, and it's a free kick. Just a slightly late challenge by Ricardo.
I thought he could have let that go on. The referee, to be fair. But again, you just seen there again that pass in the. I've just seen a replay of the challenge. There was not really. But again, seen that pass in the Damari Gray. Again, a little bit rusty, not had any game time at all. I don't think Morrison's coming back. So just showing that little bit of rustiness in his first touch, turning over possession.
Yeah, one of those who's playing in pre-season for the first game, Damari Gray. Leicester had plenty out in Italy, not just with England, but with Romania as well, and a couple more countries. So pretty much the full squad is back now, apart from those that were away at the Africa Cup of Nations. An incredibly busy summer for tournaments, given there wasn't a World Cup or a European Championship.
Yeah, and it just poses a bit of a headache for Brendan Rodgers and any manager, I suppose, who have players away on international duty, because it does, you know, stop them from getting that vital match preparation and the style of play that the manager wants.
And he has to shuffle his pack accordingly in pre-season matches. Towering header by Harry Maguire. Now Vardy to Tielemans. It's opening up here for Yuri Tielemans, and he almost makes Cambridge pay.
Yeah, well, that was fantastic, quick play from Leicester. The ball comes into Vardy, and it's a lovely first-time knock-off from Vardy to Tielemans, and that just opens the whole pitch up for Tielemans. Cambridge defence are on the back foot, going towards their own goal, and he's well within his rights to have a shot.
And now he's taking a corner. That's a good save, actually. It's a decent corner as well. Chilwell comes out to Tielemans again, who's beginning to tick. Albrighton. Another good header away. Mendy, I hope that's not your car that's causing an obstruction, Jerry Taggart.
Well, seeing as I didn't drive here tonight, then I've got away with that one. Again, good play from Leicester, you know, again, balls coming into the box, Cambridge clearing those balls, but Leicester first on them second balls, picking them up, recycling and getting themselves on the front foot and on the attack again. So that is something that will please Brendan Rodgers.
Countless corners. Might this one lead to the opener? Tielemans again swings it in. Harry Maguire was on the prowl. Chilwell has his pocket picked, and Cambridge survive again. Mitov whacks it forward towards Iberi. Well played by Mendy to snuff out any potential danger and win the ball back for Leicester. King. Pretty much complete domination of possession in the last 5 minutes in particular.
And yeah, and it all comes about from, as I said before, winning those second balls, winning those clearances. And what that does is just pile the pressure on Cambridge.
Chilwell. Control, as expected, was excellent. Now Damari Gray. This time he just drags his shot wide. His second opening in this opening 13 minutes.
Yeah, again, look at the space Damari has here. Has a go at the defender. Fantastic play from him to go and have a go. Nice and positive. Yes, he drags the shot. But again, just that little bit of rustiness coming into this game. But all positive at the minute. I know they're just little things, but it's the little things that make the difference in these games.
Now Tielemans again into Vardy. Those two combine. And that is another terrific save. Jamie Vardy can't believe he's not scored.
Yeah, it's a textbook run from Vardy, as you see here, and it's that man Tielemans laying him in. Lovely time run, and the keeper gets a vital touch. Great save.
Second outstanding stop. All Brighton into Andy King. Now back to Chilwell. You sense the goal is coming. Leicester continue to play as well as they have done. Johnny Evans, some of the Leicester fans at the other end of the pitch cried shoot. Couple of crunching challenges, and he's managed to get it to Vardy. It didn't come off then, but further evidence of Leicester never giving anything up. We saw that with Tielemans and his assist at Cheltenham,
and that's the key. You know, it's vitally important that when you lose ball, you either regain your shape and go again as a unit or as a whole 11, or you chase things down. And that's vital fitness that the lads are getting into their legs when they're doing that. It's not easy. It's not a part of the game that everyone likes doing, but if you keep doing it as a collective and as a team, then you do start to see the rewards. And what the rewards are that Leicester picking up possession time and time again and controlling this game so far.
They won themselves a set piece in a good position. Damari Gray fouled on that occasion. Crunching challenge by Kyle Noyle, one of those who's arrived this summer. He only just survived. We were in danger of dropping out the Football League, Cambridge, last season. Colin Calderwood came in and did a really good job to keep them up. Tim Mitov's done a really good job in this opening quarter of an hour to keep this level. Now who's going to take this? Chilwell left foot, Tielemans with his right. Not a bad duo over the ball. Everybody back for Cambridge. It's Yuri Tielemans who dinks it in. Johnny Evans was close to getting on the end of it, and then Vardy's effort is blocked. And ball still won't go in.
It's a lovely ball in from Tielemans, you have to say. Just enough pace on it to get in behind the Cambridge defence. And as you see, Johnny gets in front of the defender, throws himself at it. You've got to say, pretty unlucky not to get something more positive out of that.
They are defending for their lives, Cambridge, in this opening 16 minutes. As I mentioned, they've had a really good pre-season. They beat Hearts, they beat Fulham. Chilwell just runs out of space. He spent most of his time as a left winger, really, in this opening period so far. If you are just joining us, the match kicked off 15 minutes late to let everybody get in. Such was the clamour to be at the Abbey this evening.
Well, you have to say the two stands that we can see are absolutely jammed. Well, I'm behind the Cambridge goal as well. You know,
yeah, it's pretty full.
It's a pretty good crowd, you have to say, for this friendly.
And for the locals, a chance to see Vardy and Maguire and Tielemans. Here's Ricardo. Damari Gray, nice touch there. Everything goes through Yuri Tielemans. That one went through to the goalkeeper, but
he's still trying. He's probe. He's looking forward all the time. Obviously he's instinctively thinking that Jamie Vardy's in that position to make that forward run. He wasn't, but he's playing that ball almost blind, thinking that Jamie's going to be there. I'll just get it off them. He had to play it quick. Unfortunately, Jamie was somewhere else.
Gray onto Albrighton. Just dragged his shot. 3 chances now, though, from this near side with Leicester players cutting in. 2 for Gray, now 1 for Albrighton.
Yeah, again, good play. You see Damari Gray coming in off that right-hand side. And Mark, just, if anything, he stops the ball, and that stops his momentum, and then he's having to manufacture a shot, and that's why you see him drag it wide. But again, to say, all positive stuff at the minute. Leicester controlling the game. Some good moves when they get forward. It's just that the vital finishing touches. That's all it's missing at the minute. But as you said before, you know, you feel a goal's coming. Johnny Evans just limping slightly there. Doesn't look too comfortable, you have to say.
Yeah, very good spot. Brendan Rodgers maybe just looking down the touchline to that. Wins, goals, clean sheets important, but no injuries is number one priority in pre-season.
You know, absolutely, definitely. You want everybody coming off the pitch at the end of these friendlies. You know, the manager and the physio asking them, "How are you, lads?" And they're all giving the thumbs up. At the minute, it doesn't look too good for Johnny, you have to say.
He just turned, and now he has, just off camera, gone down. Now, this is a worrying sight. Johnny Evans holding his left, top of his left leg. Let's hope this isn't too serious.
Again, you know, it's just a... I know it's only, it's pre-season, it might not be too... Well, hopefully it's, you know, it's not too bad, but Brendan Rodgers right now, he's thinking, wow, I can't afford to lose a player of the magnitude of Johnny Evans, you know, in a game like this. So, worrying times, you have to say, and especially when you can't really assess the injury. Maybe till tomorrow they'll know what he's tweaked or where he's hurt, i.e. what's part of his leg. But the real assessment won't be able to be done until tomorrow, until the swelling's gone down.
He's walking off, which at least is encouraging, I guess, but Johnny Evans' evening is done. And Brendan Rodgers is going to be forced into an early change as he just asks his fellow Northern Irishman, what's up?
Yeah, you can see the concern on Brendan's face. And I have to say that is the number one issue with managers, is making sure that everybody comes off the pitch.
Well, we are going to see Chagla Soyuncu coming on. He was due to come on probably around the hour mark, so he's going to have 40 more minutes because of Johnny Evans' injury here. Well, the substitute just checks that Evans okay. For now, he's heading to the bench. A disappointing change from a Leicester point of view, but now Soyuncu has to make the most of his opportunity now alongside Harry Maguire.
I think it probably happened when he was going in for that challenge on the edge of the Cambridge box. That's probably where he felt it initially.
Yeah, the replay we just showed you was the final act for Johnny Evans when he was already in pain, and he passed it back to Schmeichel and then went down. Rightly so. It's not the type of game when you try and run off an injury. Slightly soured what's been a very good opening 22 minutes. As Mendy and Tielemans exchange passes. Damari Gray. Ricardo rampaging forward. Damari Gray doesn't use him yet. Chilwell. Haven't been afraid to shoot so far this evening, Leicester. Great. Now Maguire. First touch for Soyuncu. Just in the back of your picture there, Johnny Evans is heading down to the tunnel area. He's signing an autograph at the moment, which is great credit to him. He's that sort of guy, but he's going to head into the dressing rooms when he's done with the Leicester supporters. Great to see. Yeah, he'll be concerned about what's wrong, and he takes his time to make a young kid's evening.
As you say, it is a positive that he is walking down the side of the pitch and not, you know, unaided, and not, you know, obviously needing help to get back into the changing room.
Here's Damari Gray at the other end of the pitch. Ricardo flies forward, of course, at every opportunity, and plays a lovely one too. This will be a great Leicester goal. It's a third brilliant save, then cleared off the line, and then Andy King blazes over. How is it still 0-0?
Well, again, a great attack. This time, Damari Gray attacked before he failed to utilise Ricardo. This time, Ricardo gets in behind. Fantastic forward play from him. Was that a back heel?
It was a back heel. It hit the post. I thought it was cleared off the line. It was a back heel.
Wow. And Ricardo just, starting where he left off from last season, absolutely fantastic burst of pace to get in behind the Cambridge defence and almost opening the scoring. But again, that's what Brendan Rodgers will be wanting to utilise as often as possible as both his full-backs. He knows they've got the pace and the energy to keep getting up and down.
That's a good ball for the Cambridge right back, Kyle Noyle. The Cambridge fans have had barely an attack to cheer so far tonight. Long may that continue. Still, it is goalless. Here's Damari Gray, though. Oh, Jamie Vardy was going to be on the end of that. And Lewis John in the nick of time with very, very good piece of central defending, but they've given it away. It's Damari Gray. Is this the moment for Leicester? Damari Gray has 2 bites at the cherry, and still Cambridge block, and still Cambridge frustrate.
Yeah, well, this time it was Liam O'Neill with a fantastic challenge, but 2 great pieces of defending, you have to say, from Cambridge. First from the cross at Damari Gray, and here he tries to get a shot off, it's blocked. Tries to get another shot off, it's blocked by the same man, that guy O'Neill. So all hands to the pump for Cambridge.
Well, they have a rare attack. He's done well here. And Cambridge have a free kick in a very, very dangerous position. Mendy gave away the challenge.
And we'd love to tell you who it was, but we don't know his name, apart from a trialist. So, are you going to call him?
I mean, this is a commentator's nightmare. Nowhere, and this is the official team sheet handed out by Cambridge, a trialist. Of course, he's not called Alan Trialist. You were telling me why this often happens.
Yeah, I think, well, having had a bit of time in management, one of the reasons why you wouldn't tell the name of a trialist was in case you played him in a game and he had an absolute worldie, and then you see scouts coming to every pre-season game now and they try and pinch him off you at the end, but because you haven't signed him. So that's one of the reasons why they don't give out the names.
Because he scored on Saturday against Hearts and he was still called a trialist. Anyway, here is the free kick, Cambridge's first real attempt, and it's straight into the wall. We've got another trialist on the bench. If those 2 combined for a goal, we're in big trouble, Jerry, but anyway.
Well, it's over to you then. If it does happen, I'll be hiding behind the seat if it happens.
We know this man, it's Harry Maguire into Ben Chilwell. And the fun of pre-season. And it's a mark of where Cambridge are financially and in League Two, that they do look at free agents. Very, very rarely does money now exchange hands. That lost their top scorer to Colchester from last campaign. I mentioned how well they've defended. Colin Calderwood, their manager, was a pretty good defender in his day. He seems to have instilled some of that grit. It's 0-0 if you're just joining us, but complete Leicester City domination so far. Couple of really, really good saves from Dimi Mitov. I wanted to know Jamie Vardy was particularly special. Yuri Tielemans. Now Chilwell. In towards Vardy. I must get a few balls on this near side. It's a very low stand. That one went right to the back of it. The last came off a Leicester boot, so it's a Cambridge throw. The sun has now disappeared from all of the pitch apart from a tiny sliver in the Leicester right back area. Chilwell takes that quickly to mend it. Now Ricardo again can tiptoe his way over halfway. Chilwell been completely untroubled defensively, really, Leicester so far tonight. That's well played by Paul Lewis. Home fans enjoyed that. Lewis again. And if you are a Cambridge player, no disrespect, Jerry, but you see Vardy, you see Tielemans, you see Maguire, and it can up the game, can't it? They'll be looking forward to this.
Yeah, without a shadow of it, it's definitely a scalp for them, a massive confidence booster if they come away with any kind of positive result.
Something for Kasper Schmeichel to do here. Right, it's been his first touch for a good 10-15 minutes, I think. Leicester fans, as you can see in the goal behind Kasper Schmeichel. About 1,600 tickets available. Couple of hours. First trip here for quite some time. As Vardy sprays another ball out to Damari Gray. Andy King was bursting forward to try and get on the end of that.
Yeah, again, a lovely little touch. First time touch from Andy King to Jamie Vardy, and then he just carries on his run. We've seen that over the years from Andy King, getting in the box, making late runs, and Damari Gray sees the run, tries to find him, but again, pre-season rustiness from Damari, just overhits the cross. But again, it's good, incisive, quick build-up play, and that's what Brendan would be pleased about. The moves are coming off, they're getting themselves into really good positions to cause Cambridge problems, and it's just a really, really good defender from Cambridge, or just that vital bit of rustiness that's keeping this game at 0-0.
And that word mentality, which is used a lot, that the fact that Leicester are looking to attack and always looking for the forward pass. We see it there from Mendy into Albrighton. He might go for goal once more from this left-hand side. Safe hands from the keeper, but Michael Brighton fancied his second goal of pre-season.
Yeah, again, the Cambridge defence is just dropping off, and allowing Leicester to exploit that space, just in front of the edge of the box. And Mark Albrighton, in all fairness, doesn't really have a lot more options open to him there.
And that's a good cross-field pass. And Noyle's onto it. And back to Leon Davis. Kasper Schmeichel comes. Jabo Iberi is a big target up there, and he found Kasper Schmeichel, but he certainly caused some problems.
Yeah, I think that's the first time, as you say, as he comes up, he just gets a little nudge from Iberi, who's a big, strong unit, big, strong boy. Puts himself about inside the box. But Kasper just using all his experience there to draw the free kick.
Soyuncu, who, if you're again just joining us, on for Johnny Evans, who unfortunately had to go off injured. Kick-off delayed by 15 minutes, which is why we're at the 31-minute mark. The cheers are because Hamza Chowdhury just made his way out of the tunnel. Damari Gray looking for Vardy. Can Cambridge get away with one? And defended diligently. Just had a bit more of an attacking threat in the last 5 minutes, and Iberi right in front of the Cambridge bench has won Cambridge a throw-in. Colin Calderwood there. He kept Cambridge up. Last job before this was a Aston Villa assistant. You can see the sweat there on an Andy King shirt. He's got around the pitch, of course he has, but it's a clever header because Michael Brighton was on the prowl there. Now Davis. Liam O'Neill. Probably their best move, this. I don't think it's going to go any further with Ben Chilwell around. Cool as you like. He gets Leicester moving. Chilwell again into Yuri Tielemans. Mark Albrighton galloping forward. This is dangerous. Albrighton. Another good save from another good Leicester move.
Yeah, again, fantastic forward play from Leicester. Good, incisive, quick play. All starting from Ben Chilwell, picking up a through ball, working his way out of trouble. The link-up play, the running off the ball from Albrighton, fantastic. And again, he gets a shot on target.
And just over 10 minutes to go until half-time. Offside flag is up against Jabir Berry. Assistant approximately 2 yards away from us, so we could see that flag very, very quickly. We're in the stands here on this this near side as Chilwell and Andy King exchange passes. Now Harry Maguire. You can see that the sun stood on the main stand, right where the coaching staff and the substitutes are sitting. It's never easy when a team just sits back as well, like Cambridge are. Here's Chilwell. Now Andy King. Maguire joins the attack. Damari Gray. Tielemans is in a dangerous position. Damari Gray goes for goal once more and picks out the goalkeeper once more.
Yeah, just going back to your first point, yeah. As you said, it's never easy. You get so far up the pitch and then you just see a sea of yellows you can see in the box. 7, 8, 9 players all in and around defending. So it just makes it a little bit more difficult. But Leicester become unstuck in the past with teams that come to King Power Stadium and just sit back and defend deep. So they'll have to find a way to break these teams down to play, to just play deep and defend the edge of their box.
Here's Ricardo. Maybe a good time for this type of test. Or Brighton. Digs out a cross. A very good piece of defending because Andy King, well, his eyes must have lit up when that ball was coming over.
Yeah, great bit of defending at the back post. Vital touch on that, as you said. Andy King just lurking, waiting for that ball to drop onto his head.
That's another good ball from Tielemans, asking all the questions. Leicester so far, Cambridge have answered them as a defensive unit. Here's Mendy. We saw Maguire stepping forward there, just to add another body to the attack and maybe free up some space for another Leicester player as Albrighton. He and Damari Gray have switched on a couple of occasions in this first half. A lovely move again, Albrighton. Crossing is defended well.
Again, good football between Ricardo, Mark Albrighton, and that's where the space is. You have to recognise where the space is and try and exploit it. And obviously, for Leicester at the minute, it's not down the central part of the pitch, it's out wide. And so they're recognising that, and they're getting lots of overlapping runs, lots of players down the wings, crosses coming in the box, the wide players coming inside, getting shots off. I think Gray and Albrighton have more shots, more attempts on goal than anybody else.
Yep. Harry Maguire's ball to the aforementioned Damari Gray. Every single player, apart from Kasper Schmeichel, is in the Cambridge half right now. Most of them in and around the penalty area. Here's Ricardo. If anyone can unpick this defence, it's Yuri Tielemans. On the ball once more. Now Damari Gray. Ricardo was in a dangerous position. Here's Albrighton. Again, it's an amber shirt that gets in the way. Another corner.
Again, good recycling of the ball, exploiting that space. Out wide. You've got to say, good defending again from Cambridge.
Leicester have taken the corner quickly. Tielemans has it back. Goes all the way back to Mendy, who's the furthest outfield player back. Look how far forward he is. Tielemans and King. Now it's Ricardo towards Soyuncu. very good in the air. It's a physical league, League Two, and you'd expect the Cambridge defenders to be able to deal with crosses. And they've done pretty well in the opening 38 minutes. Still goalless in this pre-season friendly. Andy King pulls it back. He instinctively knew where Jamie Vardy was going to be. We'll need a new ball. It's a corner kick.
Again, this time Andy King exploiting the space in the wide areas and not just putting a ball into the box. He's tried to work that ball, tried to cut it back, and yet again Cambridge defending in numbers. But again, it's good play from Leicester.
Yuri Tielemans puts up his hand once more. Another corner. This one's a bit deeper. All the way through to Ben Chilwell, who can have a run at the Cambridge defence. Lovely step over from Chilwell. Super ball. And Damari Gray couldn't apply the finishing touch. It's another corner. It could have been a lot more.
I think Damari Gray's just run over it. He's probably thinking, well, I can't get a shot off. As we see it here, Chilwell, almost like a tricky winger. Good low ball. Yeah, and Damari Gray he's thinking the defender's going to clear that, and so doesn't go for it. You can just see his head in his hands.
Yeah, the reaction rather gave it away, didn't it? Here comes this latest set piece. Cambridge really anywhere will do, including out of play. The old if in doubt, kick it out tactics, but they'll be happy at 0-0. Certainly having a very good workout defensively. It's now one of those glorious summer evenings. There's a slight breeze. A very cold wind in this part of the world when winter comes. Stadium pretty close to the centre of Cambridge. Harry Maguire, unchallenged, goes up over halfway. Or Brighton. Tielemans tees out Ricardo. Damari Gray. Thought about a trick or two. Andy King delivers. On that occasion, there wasn't really too many blue shirts to aim for. Harry Maguire picks it up and then almost runs into his Leicester and England international teammate Ben Chilwell.
He just pulled that, hasn't he, Harry? It could have been curtains for Ben there.
He saw Chilwell's face. Probably the number one player you don't want to run into. It's up against Jabo Iberi tonight. It's a good physical battle for Maguire. He's an old school centre forward. I've had a few in these parts, as we mentioned. Dion Dublin. Here's Damari Gray. Tielemans again. The wind's just picked up. A right relief for the players. Here's Harry Maguire, centre-back turned attacking midfielder. Tielemans sizes one up, and the goalkeeper had to watch that all the way. Pushed out to Ricardo, and still it won't go in. That defied logic. Chilwell, slightly heavy touch, but he gets it back. Another jinking run. Well, how did that stay out?
The keeper's blessed at the minute, isn't he? Again, you just see this ball. The shot from Tielemans, he sees it late, the keeper. He does well initially to get it away, but it doesn't go out of play. And as it comes back in, it goes inside the keeper, but not over the line. Amazing.
I don't know if we can show you a different angle of that at some stage, but that, for all the world, looked like it was in. Tielemans back to Soinchu in the meantime. The floodlights are coming on. Crossfield pass to Chilwell. 1-2 of Yuri Tielemans. Now all Brighton. 2 minutes to go until half time. And there will be not wholesale changes, but there will be some changes for the Foxes. Might just get a first look at certain James Maddison. Damari Gray, fantastic turn. Rampaging run. Is that a penalty or is it a free kick? I think it's given a free kick right on the edge. Right on the edge.
Again, I'd like to see the replay of this. Yeah, he's got it right. Referee, initial contact's just outside the box, you see, but again, Damari Gray just showing the sharpness there. Turning pace with a ball at his feet. Cambridge just struggling to keep tabs with him.
Well, I mentioned James Maddison, he's not on the pitch yet, so he's not going to be taking this free kick, but well, that man's made 2 really good saves. And Yuri Tielemans and Ben Chilwell suggested to Damari Gray that he's not going to be taking this set piece, so he walks away. If this is on target, it will take something special to stop it. The right foot of Tielemans or the left of Chilwell. 2 dead ball specialists. And a big moment at the end of a first half that Leicester have completely dominated. Will they get their reward here? It's Tielemans. All did its job. Another block.
Yeah, it's almost too close in to get it up and over, so you see teams putting players in the walls, you know, the attacking team putting players in the walls, and they split as the man hits the ball, and that's basically what he had to try and do there, because it's almost impossible to get it up, get it over with enough pace.
Here comes the corner. Might get another one on the other side of the pitch. Leicester maybe a touch fortunate. You can see what the Cambridge defender makes of that. He is adamant that Soyuncu pushed him. 1 added on minute. Just 1. Mostly for the injury to Johnny Evans. So this might just be the last chance. Had so many set pieces, Leicester. Tielemans delivers. Harry Maguire attacks and Cambridge defend for their lives again. A really impressive display at the back. Fine pass, that is some Chilwell. Okay, Albrighton didn't make it, but that was really threading the ball through the eye of a needle there.
Yeah, again, it's about the runs that they're making, all good, positive runs. They're trying to play the right way. Just not coming off at the minute.
Well, that's that. A really entertaining opening 45 minutes after the 15-minute delay. Jamie Vardy and Leicester have knocked and knocked, but so far haven't somehow broken down the Cambridge United defensive wall. Vardy denied brilliantly by the goalkeeper, who's made countless saves. And Jerry Taggart, Leicester walk off at 0-0, but I think they'll be pretty happy with the way they've played. A bit more luck and they might have had 2 or 3 goals.
Yeah, I think so. I think Brendan will be pretty happy. Obviously the name of the game is about scoring goals. That hasn't happened, but you have to say Leicester have had umpteen chances, and you know, sometimes you have to credit the opposition. You know, Cambridge have stood strong, they've defended with numbers, they've put their bodies in the line when they needed to, but Leicester have controlled this game of football from back to front. There's no doubt about that, and it's just that finishing edge that's missing. But no doubt as the game goes on, they continue to pile the pressure on, and you've got to say, you know, sooner or later that they're going to break the deadlock.
Well, we'll have plenty more excellent first half reaction from Dan and Matt in a moment after a break. Half time at the Abbey in this pre-season friendly. It's Cambridge 0, Leicester 0.
We are an instinct that ignites action. We are a journey taking one step more. And we are the heart that beats as one. We are proud to be more. De Montfort University, Leicester.
Welcome back to the Abbey Stadium here with me, Dan Bates, and Matt Elliott. Matt, 0-0. I mean, there was a lot of Leicester chances. It was mainly Leicester, wasn't it, dominating the game? How did you find that?
Yeah, a lot of possession, didn't they, Leicester? A little bit leisurely pace at times, but they upped the ante every now and then, particularly towards the end. They had concentrated pressure there for about, what seemed 5, 6, 7 minutes. They were packed into Cambridge's defensive penalty area. Couldn't quite come up with that end product, could they? Many of shots, crosses, attempts at goal. They were being blocked, semi-blocked, and they're going wide for corners. Couldn't quite get on the end of them, but unable to produce that penetration really. But there's some good little bits of play. Just thought the tempo could have been a little bit quicker.
They had plenty of chances, Leicester. We'll take a quick look back at those on the screen now. And you say probably should be ahead, Leicester, Matt, but this pre-season's a little bit about ironing out the fact that these chances, you hope when the league comes around, they go the right side of the post.
Yeah, well, as is often the case, the chances, the best chances occur when you've turned over possession quickly, and Leicester did that with a challenge from Maguire, popped it around in midfield quickly. Tielemans got the shot off, never really troubled the keeper, but this is nice sharp play, typical Jamie Vardy run. Tielemans in that position that he loves to pick up on the half turn.
Link up, that, isn't it?
Yeah, no, exactly. That is something that hasn't happened just by chance. They'll be working on that in the training ground. Midfielders getting in an advanced position and slotting nice little slide rule passes through. There was Ricardo there. Yeah, this was probably the best chance. It's a sustained period of opportunities there. Andy King will feel he should have done better with the quality he's got. Ricardo, I thought, he sort of typified Leicester's performance, I thought, a little bit reserved at times. We know he's got the capability to go and cause problems at the other end of the pitch. He didn't do it that often, but when he did, he looked quite effective.
Yet again, it was Yuri Tielemans at the heart of that. We've just seen him there playing another ball.
He's become
forward.
a major figure, isn't he? Albeit pre-season, but you know, everything's gone through Mendy initially, but in advanced areas, dangerous position. When you're looking for that cutting through ball, it's Tielemans pretty much every time, whether it's going wide or central.
We've seen out warming up as well the likes of James Maddison, Hamza Chowdhury, Christian Fuchs.
Yeah,
they're the types of player, well, particularly James Maddison, another creative player in the ilk of Yuri Tielemans. We see Damari Gray was very bright as well in that.
Yeah,
half,
he was. Damari Gray, Mark Albrighton as well, came in, cut inside from the left, got a few shots off, not with any real venom in them, but Damari Gray, again, it was nearly but not quite. But the potential's there without a doubt. Needs to start being fulfilled. It was one of those efforts by Albrighton. Again, that man Tielemans, you know, he's the one who's making the crucial key passes. Good movement by Vardy, and they're all making movement off each other, which is, yeah, I'd like to see it. It's more adventurous from Leicester than it has been in times gone by. But Maguire, as the pressure's being mounted, Tielemans again, shot from distance. Keeper does well, actually. I don't know if it took a little deflection or a bit of dip and swerve, but
he made a couple of good saves, didn't he? The
yeah. There was one. Is it Vardy? I'm not sure if he made the save onto the post or not. It was difficult to say from our angle, but the corner was given, or the throw-in was given actually, But yeah, he's needed to be sharp on a few occasions.
What do you expect to see from the substitutes that we've just referenced there warming up, particularly the likes of Chowdhury, Maddison?
Yeah, that's right. Nice to see them back in the fray. They've had their time away with England under-21s, and well done to them for that. You don't get too much time to rest on your laurels, do you? They missed a couple of pre-season games, and they're back in the squad. I think Brendan Rodgers has spoken about, we'll have to wait and see about the starting team playing for an hour or so. I think there might be 2 or 3 changes at half-time. And then the majority of substitutes coming on the hour mark, but we won't be able to tell just now. But yeah, looking for definitely. Always look forward to seeing Maddison perform, don't you? Because I think him and Tielemans complementing each other with a defensive midfielder, whoever it be, Maddison, Chowdhury, and Didi, is quite an exciting prospect.
We'll just take this moment now to announce the winner of the competition that we ran before the game, and congratulations to Oliver Samuels, who won that one on Twitter. A member of this club staff will contact you tomorrow about the 2 free tickets for the Atalanta game. Don't worry if you did miss out in the competition, though. Tickets are still on sale for that game against Atalanta at King Power Stadium a week on Friday. Matt, just looking back out again to those players warming up, what kind of game do you think it will be coming into at half-time? Because if players are used to coming on as a substitute in a normal Premier League game, the intensity's already up there. What's it like in a pre-season game?
Yeah, to an extent, it is what it is, but here to work, to get minutes under your belt, to improve that fitness, to try and get some form of match sharpness. This isn't as intense as a Premier League game, but it's the nearest thing you've got other than that. So, acquit yourself as best you can, give it your all, and I think Leicester, despite the scoreline, Leicester cruised that first half. Now, it depends what you want from your game as a manager, from your players. Now, for me, I wouldn't mind them seeing them turn the screw a bit. It's difficult to get that edge in your play, but the team players coming on in the second half, in particular, the ones who are on the periphery, they really do need to be at full throttle, because any chance you get, whether it's 10 minutes, 20 minutes, a whole 45, you need to make an impression. You need to stand out, because, as I said before, I think give or take 1, possibly 2 positions, Brendan Rodgers' first team 11 is pretty much made up in his mind.
And I guess it's about taking the chances and having confidence then for the season. We saw Jamie Vardy off the mark at the weekend against Cheltenham. I suppose as a striker, it's something to get that first goal, albeit in pre-season, must give you that confidence.
Yeah, of course. It's always nice to tuck a goal away or 2, whoever you are, but got no real worries about Jamie Vardy. He's had the odd mini lean spell, but he always comes through it. He is a natural goal scorer. Scores different types of goals. People think he's reliant on service. To an extent, everyone is, but he can score from goals from all sorts of areas of the park, and he's tried and tested. But yeah, he's already got himself off the mark. Not an issue, but it's nice to see more players getting involved in goal-scoring positions.
Excellent. Well, we just see the Leicester City players coming out onto the field now for the second half, so we'll hand you back to your commentary team for the second half of Jerry Taggart and Chris Parrott.
Thanks, Dan. Jamie Vardy, all smiles, despite being denied by the goalkeeper on a couple of occasions. It's fascinating as they walked down the tunnel, and Vardy was deep in discussion. I think it was mostly a one-way talk with Youri Tielemans. And that partnership, Jerry Taggart, we're going to be talking about it a lot in the 2019-20 season.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
And again, you're just seeing some of the clips of the first half, and Tielemans at the centre of everything, you have to say. Always looking for the ball. We talked about him when he's on the ball. He's always looking for that forward pass. And Jamie Vardy, you obviously have someone who's always willing to make that forward run to try and get in behind. So you've got the makings of a very, very good partnership, a very, very potent partnership in the making. And yes, it just hasn't quite come off tonight, but you're just seeing signs of it starting to work.
And there's the captain speaking to Tielemans, who's he's been a complete spectator, Kasper Schmeichel, let's be honest. That was the one change in the first half. Sorinchu on for the injured Johnny Evans. Can't recall a more comfortable 45 minutes for Leicester City's goalkeeper. And Kasper Schmeichel won't be too worried about that. Now we are going to see some changes at the break, and a few more probably around the 60-minute mark. Hamza Chowdhury, one of those who's going to come on. He was just feeling his ankle as he warmed up right ahead of us, but as you can see in the back of your picture, Harvey Barnes and James Maddison are also coming on. So those three who were away, of course, with the England under-21 squad. Brendan Rodgers hasn't been able to call upon them yet, but he can now. And what a boost to have those three back.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, he'll have been itching Brendan to get them back as well, because he's one of those managers who gets really excited about about players when you speak to him.
Yeah.
You know, he really does. And so, you know, the enthusiasm the guy's got for the game is quite, you know, inspiring, and it rubs off on the players as well. You can see that. You know, you listen to get on the training pitch and work with these young, exciting players, and obviously he's trying to improve them, give them the knowledge, give them a style of football that will see them excite and express themselves and the crowd.
He loves managing them. The players love playing for him. Well, here come the three changes then. Harvey Barnes, Hamza Chowdhury and James Maddison. Not a bad trio to come on. And Cambridge have made a number of changes as well, which we will confirm when we can. It's that type of day. But one of those who's come on is Wes Houlihan, who's had a fantastic career, mostly at Norwich City, just down the road from here, and with the Republic of Ireland. He's just running there alongside Hamza Chowdhury, two players at differing ends of their careers. But if you're a Cambridge United fan, we mentioned the enthusiasm with some of the new Leicester boys. I'd be very happy if I was a Cambridge fan and Wes Houlihan was coming into my club.
Well, what he has got is vast experience of playing at, you know, at a higher level, and so Colin Calderwood probably sees him as a vital cog, you know, passing on that experience, you know, to the younger players in this Cambridge team.
Looks like Jabu Abire is one of those who's gone off. Leicester already on the ball with Mark Albrighton. Again, we'll confirm exactly who's gone off from a Leicester point of view as and when the half goes on, but there'll be plenty more changes as well. Here's Ricardo. Harvey Barnes. Now Tielemans. Exchanges passes with Jamie Vardy. He looks to turn provider for once. Mendy is definitely one of those who's gone off, because Chowdhury is now playing as one of the holding midfielders. Andy King, I think, has made his way off too. So that's two of the three.
Damari Gray is the other one.
Yes, Damari Gray.
See, I do come in handy sometimes.
I like the way you're just there to take the glory at the end as well, as I couldn't work out who the third was.
I was willing you on, Damari Gray. I know I was trying to, but you just couldn't get over the line, so I just thought I had to come in and help.
Ricardo once more. They linked up well with both Gray and Albrighton, and now he has Harvey Barnes for company. Not a bad replacement. Kasper Schmeichel in front of the Cambridge fans. They're very much the Amber Army as opposed to the Yellow Army. Don't get those two confused around here. Now Albrighton. Soyuncu. Back to Kasper Schmeichel, maybe just pressing a little higher in the second half, Cambridge.
Yeah, without a doubt, you know, they've come out.
What a pass from Maguire to Tielemans. And here's Chilwell. Barnes. First sight of goal, and that wasn't too far away. Leicester have continued where they finished in the first period.
Well, again, a raking move from Leicester, as you said. Fantastic ball into Tielemans from Harry Maguire, and then it's all about Harvey Barnes. Does exactly the right thing, knows he probably can't beat the fullback, and if he does, he's got to go wide, which narrows the angle, so he just has a pot shot and nearly comes off.
A new man over the set pieces, and it's James Maddison in towards Barnes. Cries for a handball from a few in blue. He's made an impact in the opening 4 minutes of his pre-season, Harvey Barnes. Brighton.
I have to say, there's a player, the fullback, who blocked that shot from Barnes, is wearing the number 3 shirt, and there's no number 3 on the team sheet. So, again, unless you've got something I haven't, I don't know the lad's name.
I'd love to say it's a nasty trick on you, but yeah, you're correct. Pre-season. Offside flag is up here. And one thing that's helped us is that in the first half, Cambridge barely had an attack, really. If it wasn't for this man on the ball here, the goalkeeper, Dimi Mitov, really might have been 2 or 3 in the opening period. He's had a very good night. Vardy just backed in, but beaten to the ball by Elliot Ward, who's one of those that came on at the break. Hamza Chowdhury into the action, breaking up play, getting Leicester moving. And Jamie Vardy was moving there. Chowdhury once more. All action already. I guess with Wilfred Ndidi still away after his exploits at the Africa Cup of Nations. A chance again for Chowdhury tonight, maybe to put himself forward as that holding midfielder for the Premier League opener. Tielemans, who appears to be playing sweeper all of a sudden. Brighton. Another fine pass. Ricardo leaves it for Harvey Barnes. Now James Maddison. Just got caught under Barnes' feet. And there is Houlihan. That touch and a surety. And he will want the ball. So entry back to Kasper Schmeichel. Terrific. Cambridge fans just got excited, and maybe in League Two it might have led to a chance, but not with Kasper Schmeichel around. Here's Maddison. Barnes, bit more space, deflected, off the line. Still, it's 0-0. Now Tielemans. Not even a corner. Oh, Lady Luck is shining on Cambridge United this evening, all right.
Yet again, goalkeeper living a charmed life. Lovely little ball, lovely way to pass from Maddison to find Barnes, and again does exactly the right thing. Has a shot, first time shot. The angle's narrowing all the time, so he has to take that first time. Hits the target, yes, it deflects, but still the keeper comes off on top yet again.
Leicester fans enjoyed that clearance from the goalkeeper. Chowdhury up against Houlihan. Leicester fans tonight now getting an up-close view of the Foxes as an attacking force, given Leicester attacking the end where the 1,000 or so members of the Blue Army are. And to pass that is to Chilwell, who plucks it out of the ever-darkening night sky. Tielemans. There's Morgan given a hero's reception down at that end. It's actually the stand is set back, so there's a big area between the pitch and the stand where the Leicester substitutes are going through their warm-up. Throw in on the far side, which Chilwell will take. His first 54 minutes now of pre-season. Houlihan, challenged by Maddison. Houlihan was absolutely central to Norwich's promotion to the Premier League. He's been to a European Championship with the Republic of Ireland. He won't be on the ball there. Well played by Chowdhury and then Ricardo. Definitely showing a little more attacking intent in this second half, Cambridge.
And as you said before, they've decided to push slightly higher up the pitch instead of just dropping off all the time and allowing Leicester to work their way up the pitch. So obviously that's something that's changed at half time. And Leicester just found it a little bit more difficult in the second half.
Ricardo. Yet to see him in space in an attacking position, and it happened on countless occasions in the first period. Now Maguire. Here's Chowdhury. A couple of pirouettes. Harry Maguire was the option. Lovely ball onto Chilwell. Through to Mark Albrighton. Good challenge by Carl Noyle. Season opener against Bradford City for Cambridge. Next weekend. Had a week in Scotland to prepare for this game, and then another home game against Ipswich for the weekend. So this their toughest test, if you like. Mitov given the normal Leicester City welcome as he prepares to take this goal kick. Maguire. Now Soyuncu. Ricardo. Harvey Barnes ahead of him. A decent piece of defending once more. Luke Hannon on that occasion. Ian, basically, the entire game has been played in the Cambridge half. Sort of like an attack v defence training drill in many ways, but in what has been a competitive game.
Yeah, and again, at half-time, Brendan will obviously have known what's going on in the first half. Leicester camped inside Cambridge's half of the pitch. It's all about working out how to exploit the spaces, get on the end of crosses, getting bodies into the box when the crosses are coming in. For the most part, you know, Leicester getting lots of joy down the sides. It's all about connecting those dots when the ball is wide.
Here is Albrighton. Now it's opened up. Maddison was in the middle. Vardy is jumping. Cambridge, rather nonchalantly, clear their lines. Well played by Soyuncu, who, again, if you're just joining us, came on for Johnny Evans, who was forced off injured in the opening period. 15-minute delay to kick off, that is, which is why we're only 57 minutes in. Vardy back to Maddison. The first look at a James Maddison shot in the 2019-20 season, and it's deflected wide for a corner.
Yeah, good play from Maddison here. Just lets the ball run alongside him. Little give and go with Vardy. Does he need the touch? By having that touch, he invites the defender onto him. Can he hit that first time, curl it into the top corner?
A really good noise from the Blue Army behind that goal. Another corner for Maddison. Swung in. Vardy left it. Comes through to Chilwell. That's a good ball. Maguire! Leicester lead finally. Harry Maguire salutes the Foxes fans And just short of the hour mark, Leicester get the goal they deserve.
Well, it's a great ball in from Ben Chilwell, you have to say. And what Harry Maguire does brilliantly well is he just hangs out. As that ball comes into the box, you see it's not a bad clearance, it's not a great clearance, but Chilwell and Maguire's just lurking at the back. Taft is ball watching, doesn't know where Maguire is, and that enables Maguire to get the run on him, and he just comes in and powers that header home. This time the keeper absolutely no chance of saving that. Fantastic header from Maguire.
George Taft, the Cambridge captain, didn't have a prayer when Harry Maguire attacks a ball like that. Ricardo. Now Leicester have the first. Might that lead to a few more? Ricardo's given it away. Here is Houlihan. This is a nice position for Cambridge United. He's back defending Maguire, and he's won a free kick.
It's fantastic recovery again. And it starts from Hamza Cherry. The ball goes into Houlihan. And straight away you see Hamza Cherry scampering back, helping out his defence. And Leicester quickly, just smother that move from Cambridge.
A few more changes are about to come from Leicester City. At least 3 when this ball next goes out of play. Well, there is a next stoppage. We hit the hour mark. Cambridge take the throw quick, and so Brendan Rodgers can't get them on. Now there's another Leicester player down here. It's Ben Chilwell. He's going to be okay, I think. Back to his feet as Vardy tries to nick the ball. You can see there he's not moving 100% freely. Jerry, we mentioned about pre-season preparations. It is.
Well, I think Christian Fuchs was due to come on anyway.
Yes.
Which is obviously, yeah. He's got a smile on his face.
He's got a big smile on his face.
Oh, happy days.
Everyone can breathe. So Christian Fuchs is on, as you mentioned. And he's not the only Leicester player. In fact, this is going to be a raft of changes now. Where's Morgan, one of those who comes on? James Justin gets another chance to impress in Leicester blue as well. Also going to see Adrian Silva given an opportunity by Brendan Rodgers. The ball was fired back to Kasper Schmeichel there. I think we've also seen Rashid Ghezal make his way onto the pitch. So Brendan Rodgers will have had a set plan as to exactly who he wanted to come on and when. And Kelechi Iheanacho is also on up front. Well, congratulations to that man who just celebrated a new arrival in the family. Christian Fuchs. To James Maddison. So Kasper Schmeichel is now the only player on the pitch for Leicester who started the game. Harvey Barnes has gone over to that left-hand side now. And he's linking up well with Fuchs. Iheanacho was on the move in the middle. Cambridge clear their lines. Where's Morgan's first piece of defending to do? Well played by Soyuncu. Now James Justin. Used to play his football not a million miles away from here in Luton, of course. Lovely move this from Leicester. Iheanacho's offside.
Yeah, again, it's just that quick build-up play there that enables Gazelle to get on the ball, and he just tries to thread that through. Again, good positive signs.
It's nice play from Silva on that occasion. Gears out with a nutmeg. How many pre-seasons has Wes Morgan now had in his career? I'll be looking forward to the action starting.
When you get to Wes's age, you just switch the autopilot on.
I was going to ask, does it get easier? Does it get harder?
I don't think people like Wes, you know, they won't do the full rigmarole of training. You know, he'll be asked on a daily basis whether he feels all right.
Here's Maddison looking for Harvey Barnes. Just a moment of hesitation. There's that trust between manager and senior players as well, isn't there? That they know exactly what they need to do.
Absolutely. And I say for the younger players, obviously pre-season is going to be a bit more difficult. But for Wes, it's all about taking part and doing what he needs to do to get his body, you know, to a certain condition.
Now Justin, one of the Cambridge, on the left side of the Cambridge defence that thought, phew, Ricardo's gone off, but Justin comes on. Now gears out. There's another call for that car, which is blocking a garage. Chowdhury, lovely ball to Justin. Gears out. Maddison will get it back here. James Maddison. Good block by George Taft, who, as I mentioned, spent a couple of years in the Leicester Academy, and he's led that defence very well this evening.
Yeah, again, good, incisive, quick passing between Gazelle and Maddison, and when you're in tight areas, in and around the box, it's important that you get those quick passes off. Excellent play from them too.
Another Maddison corner. Spells danger for Cambridge United. Swung in, Soyuncu's header. The goalkeeper saw it. He looks to get Cambridge moving. Here's House. Suddenly got space out of seemingly nothing. Silva. By the way, the Leicester fans' response to that parking request was, "Well, Leicester City will park where we want." Oh, it's a moment of indecision, and Kalichi Iheanacho can't make the most of it. Big chance that was for 2-0 as Wes Morgan comes out of defence well. Finds himself a long way up the pitch. Silva's filled in at centre-back well, and here's Fuchs. Justin. Knocking the ball around really nicely, Leicester City. It's another fantastic move. Gets out to Harvey Barnes. Couldn't provide the perfect finish. He says it was deflected. Initially the referee didn't agree, and then I think looked at Harvey Barnes' face and said, okay, it's a corner.
Yeah, again, quality play. Gazelle, you know, having a real impact coming on tonight. And it's that quick, incisive passing. One-touch passing between him and Hamza Chardy this time. Just creates that space from the play that ball to Harvey Barnes, who gets a shot off. Really exciting stuff.
Maddison with another opportunity to fire in one of those piercing corners. It's headed away emphatically by Noyle. Soyuncu helps out Hamza Chowdhury. Something you picked up on in the first half, that if anyone seems to be in trouble, there's a blue shirt that comes across very quickly to help them out.
Yeah. We've seen it all night, the recovery runs, the closing down, and yet again a perfect example of that.
Silva's picked out the run of Justin. Oh, what a ball that is. Taft again in the right place at the right time, otherwise Iheanacho surely would have scored.
Yeah, great play from Justin. Sees the run of Iheanacho, tries to get the ball to him, almost comes off.
We're right behind that cross. In Premier League grounds now, you're often a long way from the pitch. We are almost at pitch level here, and really see how quickly Leicester are zipping the ball around. Silva into Justin again. Gets out. Pops up in another nice position. Houlihan. Chowdhury's in to win it. Throw in. I guess that's the one problem for Wes Houlihan dropping down to this level, is that he might have been able to control that pass, but he played his teammate into a tough position there. Justin. Fuchs forward towards Harvey Barnes. Free kick goes the way of Cambridge. Still only 1-0. Imagine if you told Cambridge, when they saw the strength of the Leicester starting 11 and team tonight, that they'd be 1-0 down with 20 minutes to go. Colin Calderwood probably would have taken that.
Yeah, I think so, you have to say. You know, at the end of the day, it's a pre-season game. There's nothing on it. There's no pressure involved in this game. But in saying that, as the Premier League team, Brendan Rodgers will not want to lose these games. You know, every bit of momentum that he gains from these pre-season games is vital, taking it into the first game of the season.
A triple change from Cambridge, and just so everyone knows, the PA who tells everyone at the ground who comes on, he doesn't know who number 21 is in terms of the second trialist on the pitch, so it's not just us, we promise you. And as Jerry Taggart alluded to, maybe that is just to mean that no one else knows who it is if they have a very good game, and then try and swoop in and steal the player before he signed for Cambridge, if indeed they want to offer him a deal. That's a good ball. A rare Cambridge United attack, and it will run through. Well, it won't to Kasper Schmeichel. But fortunately, Soyuncu, who's had very little defending to do, got his concentrating spot on here. Cambridge took the corner very quickly, it came to nothing.
Yeah, in those sort of moments when you haven't got a lot to do and you have a split-second decision to make, you need to get it spot on. And Soyuncu there took the bull by the horns, took charge of the situation. He probably knew that Kasper was coming, but said, no, I don't think you can get there, Kasper. I need to clear that ball. He does do, and you see the reaction of Kasper Schmeichel. Gives him a big hug, because he knew that if he had left it for Kasper, he might have been struggling.
Here's Gezal. Really powerful run, full of attacking intent. Justin. Gezal. It's a clever pass to Silva. He clears the crossbar. Haven't quite been as many clear-cut chances in the second half, but there's another opening.
Yeah, he just stops the ball again. He has to manufacture a shot, really, and really setting himself up for a shot, because it's a poor first touch, should I say, and maybe would have been better off recycling that ball and starting again.
Fuchs jumps, and Cambridge knocked the ball out of play on that far side. Madison back to Fuchs. And now Soyuncu, just to come back to the moment when he slid that out of play. He's obviously, he's not one of the youngest players, but he's not experienced as a Leicester player yet, and it's his, you know, Kasper Schmeichel who is the guy who's shouting leave it, so it does take some leadership, doesn't it, to make that decision.
No, absolutely. Sometimes you just got to read it.
Oh, here's Harvey Barnes. It's the break off. Oh, he's bounced off one challenge, denied by the goalkeeper. And then can't finish. What a night he's had, Dimi Mitov.
That's a fantastic block from the keeper, you have to say. It's a decent pass through the Barnes, just the wrong side of him slightly. But he gets up, makes it his own, that chance, and you've got to say it's a great block from the keeper. The follow-up just lacks that vital bit of composure.
Justin read that and immediately turned around and wanted to be on the attack. It comes to nothing. Here is one of the two trialists for Cambridge. Throw-in goes the way. Off the side in amber, Christian Fuchs over there. 15 minutes to go, and I wonder whether Cambridge might start to chance their arm a little bit. Got an opportunity here. Complete miss kick. Soyuncu is back defending. And in the end, Tom Knowles, having missed the chance, then conceded the foul.
Yeah, again, it's a decent cutback again from Cambridge, and he just has an almighty swipe at it. No timing whatsoever. As you say, Soyuncu just using all his strength there to shield the ball. And probably the frustration more than anything.
That's a great ball from Madison to Iheanacho. It was so quick that the assistant on this near side was nowhere near in line.
I was going to say.
And therefore couldn't really put his flag up.
No, he was half asleep, wasn't he?
James Madison is never asleep on a football pitch, and you can probably hear, though, the Cambridge fans for the first time making some noise, trying to roar their team onto an equaliser, which would be extraordinary given the domination that the Foxes have had. But those fans still believe they can get something in this last quarter of an hour. They've beaten Scottish Premiership opposition Hearts. They've beaten Fulham of the Championship this pre-season. And they've got a chance here to equalise against the Foxes. Soyuncu is in again. He's had not a lot to do since coming on for Johnny Evans, but what he's had to do, he's done well.
Well, what he does there, he covers Wes Morgan fantastically well. And you'll always hear me harp on about...
That's a rash challenge on Iheanacho by Elliot Ward.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I say you'll always hear me harp on about centre halves playing in a partnership, and you have to look after each other. Wes Morgan, that ball just beats him over the top, but Soyuncu covers him magnificently and makes sure that move comes to nothing.
You mentioned that word, partnership. It's exactly what it is. Iheanacho is back to his feet now. If this was a Premier League game, it would have been a definite yellow card for Elliot Ward. The referee choosing not to. Can understand why. It's actually quite nice to be at a ground where there's still just 4 floodlights, one on each corner. Most grounds now in the Premier League anyway. And floodlights all the way around. Justin back to Gezal. Now Silva. Twisting and turning. Justin. Plenty of movement ahead of him, including Gezal. Chowdhury dives in, wins the ball. Referee says it's a free kick.
Yeah, it's a challenge he's got to go for. And he's just slightly unlucky there. Unfortunately, those kind of challenges don't go unpunished in today's game, but it is a challenge he has to go for.
And Christian Fuchs has just pulled up and is hobbling away. Cambridge will play on. They're starting to gain a little bit of belief as Soyuncu. This time it's Wes Morgan who covers for him. It's a corner kick though, and listen to that roar.
I just see this again. For me, that's a goal kick for me. The referee's given that the other way. So, fatal defending to do for Leicester City here. I feel a little bit grieved.
That's exactly what Kasper Schmeichel's saying as well. A bit of defending to do though. At this stage of pre-season, no bad thing to have a test to try and see a game out. Cambridge had taken it short. Soyuncu was up. Some fans cried shoot. It looked like he took a dive there, and this could be dangerous. Here's Gezal, Justin. He could be a 100-metre runner the way he was sprinting forward there. Gezal again. Can't pick out Harvey Barnes. Much more of a contest now than it was in the first half.
Absolutely, Cambridge throwing caution to the wind slightly, and to be fair to them, they're stringing some decent moves together.
Given away straight to Christian Fuchs. It's not all about the result, of course, at this stage, but second now would just give Leicester that comfort cushion and see the game safe. It's not a bad ball, that. Right across the face of goal. Gezal and Iheanacho hadn't gambled. Cambridge with Wes Houlihan, again in a promising position. Silva and Morgan win the ball. Cambridge player has been left down in a heap. His teammates play on. Now they kick it out of play. It normally hurts if you run into Wes Morgan. That's exactly what happened here.
It was just a bit of a melee, wasn't it? And again, I don't think Wes knew what he'd actually done. His eye was firmly on the ball, and he's just inadvertently caught the lad on the foot. I'm sure he'll be okay.
Nice atmosphere, nice at this stage of this evening in particular. Still in the mid-20s temperature-wise. Not hot enough for a water break, but you can see the Leicester players taking on some liquids. Albright and Vardy and Tielemans in the background, enjoying watching on now. Their evening is done. They can prepare for Stoke or Rotherham at the weekend. You can watch all of Leicester's pre-season matches for free right here. 2 matches kicking off at the same time on Saturday. Stoke will be our main port of call. Updates from Rotherham, and then Atalanta next Friday at the King Power. It's a great test, that. And Cambridge players okay to carry on. Tom Knowles. And the final test against the side who will be playing Champions League football next campaign, having finished 4th in Serie A. The ticket's still available. Should be a good evening. Justin, their first taste of the King Power for the Leicester number 2 potentially if he plays. It won't be Wes Morgan's. Silva, clever turn. Leicester really knocking the ball around crisply and neatly and opening up the space for Christian Fuchs. Harvey Barnes now. Iheanacho in the middle. Barnes does really well. Iheanacho does even better. And it's going to be yet another victory in what's turning out to be a brilliant pre-season for Leicester City.
Well, as you said, Chris, fantastic build-up play again. That quick, sharp movement of the ball finds its way to Fuchs. And Harvey Barnes does brilliantly here. You know, composure, just get that ball, bang, nicely floated ball, nice weight. And just watch Iheanacho, he just pulls off to the back post here again. The Cambridge defenders sort of ball watching almost. Iheanacho just pulling off to the back post. Thank you very much. Looks easy, it wasn't. credit where credit's due to Ian Nacho. He hasn't had the best of times in a Leicester City shirt, but you see how much that means to him.
Barnes with the assist. And 2-0. It should be good night for Cambridge United. There's Houlihan. Lovely touch. Chowdhury and James Maddison. Move for the goal started all the way over here. Finished with a very good header. Now Fuchs. To Suinchu. To Iheanacho's confidence, as you mentioned, the world of good. Booming ball from Maddison. Lovely header from Barnes. Fuchs. Silva's in the middle, so is Iheanacho. And it seemed to come off the wrong part of his head, otherwise that might have been 3. Chowdhury judged to have found his man. Lethal, that move from Leicester City, though.
Again, a fantastic move. And what's a ball from Christian Fuchs? And we're going to see it, here we go. When it just comes out to him again, little look up, no messing about, bang. Right on the money, and as you said, Iheanacho just gets behind the ball just gets behind him slightly, and as you said, hits the wrong part of his head. But he's made that run, he's got in front of the defender. Fantastic play yet again from Leicester City.
And Dimi Mitov, who's been Cambridge's best player, the goalkeeper. Nothing he could do about either goal. 2-headed goals for Leicester. Now they want the clean sheet. Morgan with a good challenge. Almost Cambridge's first shot of this second period, and it's well wide. That expression tells the story from Reggie Lamb.
Again, you know, sets himself up. It's a decent first touch, but again, no composure. Casper just watches that one go wide.
Here's Iheanacho. Leicester looking to finish with a flourish. Iheanacho's hit the post, and Barnes is denied. Dimi Mitov's having the night of his life.
Well, again, another fantastic move. This time Iheanacho just driving into the heart of the defence. Lovely angled shot. Gets unlucky, you have to say. Iheanacho just places that ball.
Here's Hamza Chowdhury. He's up and running in pre-season, and Leicester finally getting the goals they deserve late on at the Abbey.
Well, again, this is all down to persistence. You know, Cambridge trying to play their way out. Leicester right on the front foot, starting with Barnes. Cambridge just guilty of, you know, just being a little bit lackadaisical on the edge of their own box, and Leicester taking full advantage. Hamza Chowdhury right at the centre of that. He closes it down. Elliot Ward doesn't move his feet quick enough. As you say, Hamza Chowdhury, nice little slide route pass into the corner. Keeper absolutely no chance. But that's all down to persistence, closing the ball down, high tempo.
I see coaches all over the land, not just Brendan Rodgers, talking about how luck can even itself out, and maybe these goals at the end, you know, Cambridge might think that's a bit harsh. It was 1-0 until the closing stages, but they could have come in the first half.
Yeah, again, you know, it's the way Leicester City have gone about their business. Everybody wants, you know, the perfect goal, you know, 25 passes and someone bending in the top corner, but in reality, it doesn't really matter how the goals come. You know, whether it's with a great move or whether it's because you're shutting the ball down and, you know, pressurising the opposition into making mistakes, which, in fairness, the third goal there was. It doesn't really matter. It all counts.
Kasper Schmeichel given one to chase right to the edge of his penalty area. Now where's Morgan? This is the biggest win of pre-season so far. Silva. 90 seconds of the 90 minutes remaining. Iheanacho into Maddison. Leicester might not be done yet. Beautifully weighted pass to Harvey Barnes, who couldn't pick out anybody in the middle. Leicester don't want this game to finish. Christian Fuchs. Maddison. A lovely drop of the shoulder from Maddison. And he can only pick out his former Norwich City teammate Wes Hoolahan.
And again, a fantastic move from Leicester, almost creating the fourth goal. But it's just great to see. Really exciting stuff here at the closing stages. Leicester really turning on the style.
Soyuncu.
And the fans loving it as well.
Yes. The challenges will get harder. Two different teams who play in two different matches, so everyone can get 90 minutes at the weekend, but Rotherham in League One or Stoke of the Championship, and then, as I mentioned, Atalanta, the fourth best team in Italy last season. And they beat the sides in front of you. Barnes into Gezal. Back to Harvey Barnes. Not quite. Well, Leicester have put on a real show to make it 3 wins out of 3 in pre-season. Kelechi Iheanacho, one of those on the score sheet, making it 2 with a really good header. All 3 goals came in the second period. Hamza Chowdhury got the third after Leicester pressed and pushed high and got their reward. And Cambridge defended really well. Chowdhury goes over to his former academy teammate George Taft. Harry Maguire got the opener. And Brendan Rodgers will be very, very happy. Full-time score, Cambridge 0, Leicester 3. And Jerry Taggart. A thumping win by Leicester, fully deserved, and yet another victory.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, they controlled the game from the first whistle, you have to say, and probably, you know, created more chances in the first half than they did in the second half. But
yeah,
you know, and we talked about applying that pressure, keeping that pressure on, and they did. And sure enough, the goals started to come. And by the end, you know, they could have maybe, definitely at least 1 more, maybe 2 more to make it 5. But Brendan Rodgers, you can see direction at full time. He'll be over the moon with what he's seen tonight. Not just because of the goals that have been scored, but the way Leicester City controlled the game, regained possession after they lost the ball. So the overall 90 minutes for Brendan Rodgers will be very, very pleasing indeed.
He's about to go over and salute the Blue Army. Been asked to ask you for your man of the match, which is a difficult one this evening. I'll give you a couple of seconds to think about it. It's a very good Leicester display. You can see Kasper Schmeichel on his first pre-season appearances, all smiles at the end. And all the Leicester players go over to the travelling supporters, including James Maddison. Real excitement about 2019-20, and these wins just add to that and add to that.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, so momentum's everything. Yes, it's only a pre-season friendly, but again, you look at Brendan Rodgers going up to the crowd, clapping the fans. He knows how important these games are for momentum building. You know, beginning the season is going to be massive season for clubs like Wolverhampton Wanderers, for Leicester City, your Evertons, those teams that want to try and break into that top level, that, you know, the elite level of Premier League football. It's a big season, and he knows that the momentum is very, very important indeed.
Can I get your man of the match?
Well, I'm going to say the one player that stuck out in the first half for me was Yuri Tillman. He was at the centre of everything. He's always looking to be positive. You know, as a young player sitting on the bench watching Yuri, even though he's a young player himself, he plays way beyond his years. You know, even players like James Maddison can sit and watch you and go, right, when I get the ball, I'm looking for that forward pass. I'm looking for Jamie Vardy. I'm looking for Greg coming in off the line. I'm checking for Albrighton coming in off the line. So he was the standout player in the first half for me.
I see Kasper Schmeichel there, taking his time to go over to the Leicester City fans. They were getting up close and personal with the Leicester players, having made the journey down from the East Midlands to East Anglia. Had a very, very quiet night, Kasper Schmeichel, but at the other end of the pitch, Leicester City certainly did not. More analysis coming up with Dan and with Matt Elliott very shortly. But the full-time score here at the Abbey, it's another pre-season win for Leicester. Cambridge 0, Leicester City 3.
We are an instinct that ignites action. We are a journey, taking one step more. And we are the heart that beats as one. We are proud to be more. De Montfort University, Leicester.
Welcome back to the Abbey Stadium, where it's 3 wins from 3 for Leicester City in pre-season. As you can see, we're joined by Brendan Rodgers. Brendan, another good run out this evening?
Yeah, no, I thought it was a very good exercise for us. I said to the players the other day that the first 3 weeks was really about building the fitness and getting some football fitness into their legs. And I thought these next 3 weeks really is about the strategy in the game and looking at the details and, of course, playing with intensity. And you see tonight, I think that intensity just crept up again, another notch to where we want to go. So I was very pleased, I thought, with both teams that were playing. The young guys that have come back, the 21s, they showed their quality this evening and since they've come back. So I was really pleased, and always a clean sheet, as Matt will tell you, is always important, just creating that mindset in pre-season. So yeah, it was very good.
I know it's something that Matt picked up on, particularly before the game, and then in that second half, the way that the pressing was so high and it created a lot of chances, particularly in the second half.
Yeah, I think the idea, you're not just pressing high, you know, for the purpose behind it is to create as many chances as you can. I was much more happier tonight with the creativity, but that comes if you press the ball high up the pitch and you win it back, you get more chances to create goals, and we're here to entertain supporters and score goals, and obviously one of the goals came from that, which was great.
Yeah, that was particularly evident, wasn't it? In the final minutes there, Hamza Chowdhury getting his goal like a pack of wolves.
Yeah.
Late on in the game. Admittedly there were fresh legs on the pitch, and Cambridge maybe feeling the pace a touch, but the 5-6 players all hunting as a pack for the ball, and that's what sort of a common theme on and off throughout the game. Obviously something he works on the training pitch.
Yeah, it's something that my teams normally bring to the game. It's that intensity to press, and like I say, you can't go on your own, so you get in waves of pressure, 1, 2, 3 waves, and as I said, if you can either win the ball back, great. If not, the team plays it long up the pitch, and then you have the ball again, and then your job's to then create. So
it sounds easy, Brendan, doesn't it? Is it difficult as a manager impressing that mentality on players? Because it's one thing going through the tactics board, but to be switched on. We've lost the ball. Don't drop your head. It's got to be instantaneous, hasn't it?
Yeah,
to be effective.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. You've seen it. You get teams that have arm throwers. That as soon as the ball gets given away, they throw their arms.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't know.
Moment's gone.
Yeah, absolutely. So now with the players, it's becoming impulsive. So whenever they lose it, you know there has to be a big pressure on the ball carrier, and then they have to have that cover and support behind it. Yeah. And then the other guys will take care of the space, but that immediate pressure on the ball is so important, and it's for a purpose. The purpose is to get the ball back to create chances.
They seem to have cottoned onto it pretty quick, though.
Yeah.
I know you've been here a short while.
Yeah.
But in pre-season, you can see that people have latched onto that.
Yeah, well, I think you get the likes of Hamza, who is, for me,
tailor-made for him.
Yeah, it's perfect. He loves it. He's so hungry for the ball. It's fantastic. And obviously, when Ndidi comes back as well, he's got a real hunger. So that allows you to build pressure against teams and really pen them in. And then if you can work the ball at speed throughout the game, eventually those opportunities come. And I always think that, in particular, in that when you can press teams really well, you're going to get opportunities at the beginning of games and normally towards the end as well.
Oh, without doubt, yeah.
Just finally looking ahead to Saturday, the games against Stoke and Rotherham, what do you expect to see from those?
Well, I think we go up another notch in terms of our preparation. Again, the teams will be mixed. So yeah, it's just a continuation of the good work. The players will be in tomorrow afternoon working hard and getting ready for that. But I'm very pleased at this stage of the season that the fitness is starting to improve. Like I say, it's great to get the players back, because now we can really look at the strategy over these next number of weeks and really hone in on the details that allows us to be prepared for the first game.
Thank you very much, Brendan.
Pleasure.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Good to see you.
Thank you.
And you.
Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers. And I think we're waiting for Damari Gray, who's just going to sign some autographs there, Matt. But fantastic insight there from Brendan Rodgers about the way that he likes his sides to press. And we saw so much in that second half, the amount of chances that were created.
Yeah, that's just one aspect of life under Brendan Rodgers. Leicester City have different ways of approaching games, but that's one aspect without a doubt. But now there's so much more variety to the game. It's perhaps a little bit alien, for some of the players. Although you wouldn't think so by the way they've adapted. But Leicester, when they won the Premier League, they played on the counter.
Well, I'll just interrupt you, Matt, because we've got a certain Damari Gray there. If we just got the mics in now. Damari, congratulations. That's 3 pre-season games, 3 pre-season wins. Of course, your first outing this evening. How did you find it?
Yeah, it's good to be back in with the boys. I've been had an extended break because I had the Euros, but felt good to get my first 45 minutes, and I think over the next few games we're gonna, get doing our patterns of players and stuff. And although it's about fitness, the season's fast approaching, so these are the next few games to do what we do best and get ready for the season.
Is it difficult coming back at different stages to your teammates, because of course they've been here a couple of weeks already, so they may be at a different level than you are?
Yeah, no. I think just being away from the boys, and they've had a little head start and been together for a bit longer. But because we've only had 2-3 weeks off, we haven't lost too much fitness. So although it was our first minutes on the pitch,
sharp enough to me.
Yeah, I felt okay. I had a little 10-minute spell out to catch my breath and stuff, and it was a hot day. But apart from that, I felt good, and I think over the next few games, that's enough time for me to catch up with the boys and be ready for the first game.
Yeah, you're just sort of getting on top of last season, really, aren't you? That little 2-week break's nothing really to you. I found even back in my day that if you looked after yourself in a closed season, you're just getting stronger and stronger. Yeah. So, pre-season is almost enjoyable at times, isn't it? But are you enjoying the new, well, not the new regime, but the new methods, the new tactics that you're being asked to deploy out there? Because it's a slightly different role for you. I know you can play in a variety of roles, wide, central, whatever, but you have to sort of combine the two, don't you, in the role you're being asked to play?
Yeah, no, I've got to be flexible. I'm an attacker, so whether it's on the right...
It's a different game these days, isn't it? Yeah.
Whether I'm on the right or the left, what I have to do still applies. I have to do the same things, but with the manager obviously coming towards the end of the season, and I think everyone as a group was looking forward to having a fresh start, fresh season, and now we've got a whole season to try and achieve what we want to as a group, and it's a very top team, so I think competition's going to be tight, and
lots of options there, aren't there?
Everyone's going to be fighting for their place, and it's just reminded us about that. So
see, that didn't happen much in my day, Dan. Looking forward to pre-season, but game's changing.
It certainly does now. Well, thank you very much, Tamari. Well done this evening. I'll let you get back to standing some more autographs there. Thank you very much. But thank you very much for tuning in here to LCFC TV. Don't forget, we'll be back again on Saturday for the game against Stoke. We've got the full game there, and there will be in-vision updates from the game against Rotherham. But thank you very much for watching.